along with Tom Pagna, Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. And Tom Pagna, I cannot recall in this decade when feeling has run so high emotionally for any one football game.
Tony, it really does. That's no exaggeration by a long shot. They just emotionally are as ready for this football game as any. It was a difficult chore, I think, in the first 5 games that they played to stay clear of the thought of Miami. Today it's legal. You can think about Miami.
Tom, there are more cars in the Notre Dame parking lots that come off the assembly lines in Detroit.
You got a good point. You're right. And, obviously these people are out there watching tailgating, television sets, and listening to radio, I hope. They can't get tickets to get in this game.
Well, technically, they can say they were there.
They can say they were there. This is going to be a big game, no question about it. I might, right up top, Tony, mention something about the Irish have moved the ball on the ground against about everybody we've seen. If they can move it on the ground, and I'm sure that's part of their plan, they eat up the clock. They keep Steve Walsh, the offensive machine of Miami, on the bench. I'm sure that's part of Lou's strategy.
Well, Miami started off, you'll recall, they were ranked number 8 in the preseason, despite the fact they were the defending national champions. They took on Florida State down in the Orange Bowl in the opener on September 3rd. They won 31-0. Florida State, obviously a better football team than that. They were not ready to play football. And then Miami of Florida, Tom, did something that I don't think I've ever seen. They went from number 8 to number 1. No team jumps 8 spots.
Well, I think everybody touted Florida State so high that, and one of the reasons that Florida State incidentally fell 31-0 as I saw it, was Florida State could not throw the ball on a par with the way they could in other years. Now, that very fact might haunt the Irish here today.
Now, Miami of Florida, 24 winner over Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. That resulted in the national championship, and of course, their 12-0 finish. It marked the first time the Hurricane varsity had an undefeated season. Notre Dame, 5-0 start, the best since Dan Devine's 1980 squad that won its first 7, including a 32-14 triumph over Miami here in South Bend. And the last time these two teams played, Tom Pagna talked about the Irish running game. Well, Miami did a number on Notre Dame. They limited the Irish to just 189 total yards, while the Hurricanes rolled up 417. Notre Dame's deepest penetration in that game last year down at the Orange Bowl was the Miami 26-yard line, and Notre Dame quarterbacks were sacked by the Miami defense no fewer than 6 times. And it wasn't a very good game for a guy by the name of Tim Brown. He caught only 3 passes in that game. He also fumbled Miami's last kickoff, and of course there was a lot of taunting going on. And one thing you got to say about Miami of Florida, they're confident. They may taunt you from time to time, but they put the number in the win column, and that's why they are the national champions, and certainly in the last 5.5 years, probably the dominant football school in America.
Tony, that's true. I think Tony Rice was brand new, and that season, of course, will be a lot more seasoned here today. From the standpoint of what they try to do offensively, I think they'll probably run the option, I would, and I think they'll try to throw with him. They couldn't do that last year, and it was part of the shutout.
If you look at the numbers in the NCAA stat sheet that comes out every week, this points out to be a victory for Miami of Florida. But you have emotion here, and emotion did certainly a lot for the Los Angeles Dodgers in their victory over the New York Mets in the National League Playoff Series, plus the fact that Miami has these streaks coming into this game. They've won 36 consecutive regular season games. They have won their last 16. They have 20 straight road wins. Last regular season loss, you got to go back to 1985. They lost the opener to Florida 35-23. They lost 14-10 to Penn State in the 87 Fiesta Bowl. Their last road loss to Michigan, 22-14 back in 1984. And that was in Jimmy Johnson's first year as coach. But he's had the players, obviously, because they've made it to the National Football League. They've made it big. They've been great collegiate players, and he has a great system down at Miami.
He really does. And I think, this is a cliche, but it's a true one, so it's worth saying. Turnovers, mistakes in major football games turn the tide, especially when you have 2 great competitive teams like we have today. Now, this is going to be an emotional affair. That means it's going to be a hard-hitting affair. You're going to see some gang tackling. I would even venture to say you might see more penalties than you would ordinarily see on these 2 teams. But the hard-hitting allows the ball to be coughed up. There'll be some fumbles. There'll be some batted balls and some interceptions that might turn the tide of victory and loss.
There's not a lot of difference in takeaways and turnovers. Miami of Florida, for example, they've taken the ball away 6 times on fumbles, 7 times in interceptions. That's a plus 13. turnovers. They've fumbled the ball 10 times. That's a big, Big Ten. And they've turned the ball over but only 4 times on interception, so a minus 14. So they're a minus 1. If you look at the Irish, they've taken the ball away 4 times on fumbles, 9 times on interceptions. That's a plus 13. On turnovers, 4 fumbles, 6 interceptions, a minus 10. So Notre Dame is a plus 3. Miami of Florida, a minus 1.
Tony, I think you point to the very thing that the Irish are pinning hopes on. The defense for the Irish is much quicker, much more solid than I've seen it in quite a few years. They're good at stripping the ball. They're good at getting the interception.
You were here with Ara Parsegan in the last of the golden years here in South Bend, Indiana. Your team gets riled up. Notre Dame, obviously, a very, very emotional team. They can't help but be emotional because the fans are emotional. The people of South Bend are emotional. Notre Dame fans all over the country are emotional. Here they come onto the field right now. The question is, you have to try also and curb some of that emotion because you can't let it run rampant.
That's true, and I think Lou Holtz has mentioned that fact because when they're coming on the field now, they're running between the two bands. They're not screaming, happy, crazy, piling on one another, but they are right for the game. You can tell that they're excited about it.
What I'm saying is you can't really be overzealous. You can't overcommit. You really have to play your football game. You have to play your position the way the coaches want you to play it.
Absolutely. And it's a physical game. The physical goes down the drain as soon as you get tense or over emotional. Yeah, I don't say you can play relaxed, but you've got to be with it. As a musician says, you got to be on the beat.
I can't believe that this Miami of Florida football team is as good as the one of a year ago. I don't care what the score is today. Because when you send 16 people to the National Football League and they make it, you've got yourself one heck of a football team. Now, Notre Dame is a better football team than it has been, I think, perhaps since 1980. This is the fastest Notre Dame team offensively and defensively that they've had. If there is a weakness, it has to be the passing game and the receiving corps. And that's a lot of that is due to inexperience.
Their team speed that you mentioned on defense for the Irish has got to make a decision. If they blitz, you can't blitz with corners and safeties because Steve Walsh is geared to a pro attack. Those are the reads that you make. You burn them big. You can blitz with the inside linebackers, Stonebreaker, Wes Pritchett, Andre Jones on the outside, and Frank Stams on the outside.
Obviously, Steve Walsh does not have the kind of quick feet that we saw last Saturday night, Pittsburgh's quarterback Darnell Dickerson, who roamed freely back there. But then again, Notre Dame played almost continually contained soft defense. 3 down linemen, 1 stand-up linebacker on the line of scrimmage, and they never blitzed their corners, they never, rarely ever blitzed their linebackers, and they never blitzed their safety.
That was their game plan. It'll be interesting to see what it is this time around.
Okay, the first bit of strategy this afternoon, Coach.
The flip of the coin?
Yes.
Notre Dame won the toss, and Notre Dame will kick off.
All right, the weather condition, temperature 74, forecast sunny, wind out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour, and we are about to get underway with perhaps the biggest game of the year, at least in the first half of the season.
Don't you think it's significant, Tony, and the kind of emotion that we're realizing here, that Notre Dame would choose to kick off with their choice?
Well, I can remember a Lou Holtz team that went down to the Orange Bowl and took on Oklahoma, and a fellow by the name of Billy Sims, and they got him down there on the kickoff and pinned him down, and there was an Oklahoma fumble. Arkansas recovered, went in for a score, and they came out with one of the big upsets in Orange Bowl history.
Well, if your defense is your best suit, it's not a bad ploy, and it does give you the choice on the second half or the possibility of returning the kickoff in the beginning of the second half.
So the Irish flat in their mustard-colored pants, the navy blue jerseys, the gold helmets. Miami of Florida resplendent in the orange pants, the white jerseys, the white helmets with the green and orange piping. And we are about to get ready for the big one here in South Bend, Indiana. Miami of Florida, outstanding football team. Certainly merits the #1 ranking. They're going to have Randy Hill over on the far side as a returner. And over on the near, they will set up with Darrell Spencer. Now, Darrell Spencer has 3 cousins. One happens to be Tim Spencer, another one happens to be Dennis McKinnon, and trying to think of who the third one is. And he's got some great bloodlines when it comes to football. The Irish with Hackett have it teed up at the 35-yard line, and this one about to get underway. Tickets, of course, were going at a premium. Hackett says he's ready. The run-up and the kick. End over ender coming down. Darrell Spencer down around the 3. Gets to the 5, to the 10. Cuts across field. Over at the 15-yard line. Hit and nailed by Andre Jones at the 17-yard line.
That's exactly what the Irish wanted to do. Pena inside the 20-yard line. The ball was kicked to the Miami right side of the field. They had a return left on en route to the way to the left side of the field. He got massacred.
It'll be first down and 10. First down and 10 for Miami of Florida. The ball is at the 16-yard line of the Hurricanes. Out of the huddle they come. Dale Dawkins. Wide to the right. Randall Hill out to the left. Play action fake. Walsh is going to throw on first down. Throws over the middle. The pass caught at the 34-yard line. It was dropped by Randall Hill. Randall Hill was wide open on a square and over the middle, and it's dropped at the 34-yard line. It'll be second down and 10.
So right off the bat, Steve Walsh makes an eye-back fake. Tight end and flanker to the right, split into the left, who did a box in about 15, 16 yards deep, was open against Notre Dame's zone, incidentally.
So it'll be second down and 10. For Miami of Florida, they come out in an I tandem, wide on both sides. Hand off to the fullback and driving straight ahead and getting up to about the 19-yard line is Cleveland Gary, the senior out of Indiantown. This young man is an outstanding running back. He plays fullback. He's a transfer from Georgia. He's an outstanding pass receiver. Tom, he's got the biggest hands and the best hands on the squad. They say his ring finger, size 15. That shake when you shake his ring finger, you're shaking his hand. Size 15.
Those are like cucumbers.
Third down and about 7. 5 defensive backs in for Notre Dame. Irish looking at third down and 7. Miami of Florida back to throw. Walsh at the 10. Fires long over the middle. Pass is diving. Catch is made by the wide receiver, Andre Brown, and it'll be a first down up the middle, up around the 40-yard line. 20 yards on the play, and a big third down conversion for Miami of Florida.
Notre Dame so far has not put any extra pressure on Steve Walsh. All they've done is pull in a nickel and possibly a dime. That's 5 and 6 defensive backs. They might double up on the wide receivers or the tight end, but strictly a zone so far.
You got Hill flanked to the left, Dawkins out to the right. Now the tight end, Chudzinski, comes to the right side. Again, the I tandem. Conley, the tailback. Hand off to Conley. Conley finds very little running room. Got up to the 40, up to about the 42-yard line, and he will go no further than that. Hit and stopped by Arnold Ali, who came up with an interception last week. He's in as one of the linebackers for Notre Dame. After a gain of a couple of yards, it'll be second down and 8. If you're looking at quarterback Steve Walsh, 73 out of 130 coming into this game. He's completed 56% of his passes for 1,037 yards. Intercepted 3 times, but he's got 10 touchdown tosses. He's 11th in total offense, 11th in passing efficiency, 8th in interception percentage, 7th in TD passes, and he's 3rd in touchdown passing percentage. So he can do it all. Short drop back, look. His arm was hit, look, ball scrambled for 2 yards to cover. Is it going to be ruled a fumble with his arm coming forward? It is a fumble, and Notre Dame has recovered.
That's a bad call, Tony. I saw that thing from beginning to end.
They grabbed his arm from behind, Tom. His arm was not coming forward, I don't believe. Dorich got the fumble recovery.
What I thought I saw was, even though he grabbed the arm from behind, he didn't drop the ball. He continued forward with it. Therefore, it's an incompleted forward pass.
Well, if so, it's going to be a big break for the Irish.
It is a big break.
As they take over first down and 10 at the 42-yard line of Miami of Florida. Throw set, slot right. Islanders in the slot in motion to the near side. Tony Rice in the handoff and trying to get some running room inside the 40 down to about the 39-yard line, and then getting shoved back to the 41-yard line is Braxton Banks. Now, he's 6'3", 211 pounds, a junior out of Hayward, California. Wasn't expected to play last week against Pittsburgh. Did. Came up with a couple of key receptions. Scored a touchdown for the Irish. Supposedly was hurt again, but he's starting in there at fullback, along with Mark Green at the tailback. Slot right again. Second down, a long 8. Tony Rice back to throw. Sets, looks, pump fake. Gonna fire the pass. Almost picked off. Waited way too long. It was intended for Derek Brown, and it almost got picked off by the linebacker Randy Shannon, a senior from Miami.
I I was just going to say before that play, Tony, before they tried to pass it, I thought it would be really an inopportune time. Not likely that they would do the thing that they did, pass on second down. This down, they need a 10-yard gainer. I don't think they'll put it in the air. I think they might give that little shovel pass or maybe a draw.
All right, Ragivius Mill is in. He's wide to the right. Eiler's in the slot. The same eye tandem for Notre Dame. The tight end is to the left. Back to throw. Tony Rice looks under pressure, fires over the middle. Pass by Derek Brown is caught at the 23-yard line. Nope, we're going to say he dropped the ball. He dropped it as he hit the turf. Brown made a leaping try for it down around the 23-yard line. It appeared that he had the reception. He is a freshman from Merritt Island, Florida. And now with fourth down coming up, Sexton will come in to punt.
They've got the kind of field position if they want to try something sneaky. It's awfully early in the game. I doubt it. I'd rather pin them down in there.
Spencer is back. Darrell Spencer, excellent punt returner. Sexton for Notre Dame, standing at the Irish 48. Gets the snap, no rush. High spiral. Will come down. The Irish have it covered at the 5, and it goes in the end zone. Weren't able to keep it from going at 40-yard punt. And it's a touchback, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line. Timeout, no score. Now this for Buick.
Introducing Riata, Buick's premium American two-seater. Sports car style without sports car pain, says Car and Driver. We savored every minute in the Riata's saddle, says Automobile. Buick revives the American driver's car, says Auto Week. Riata by Buick. If your destination in life has always been the top, go ahead. You deserve it.
Well, we have a shocker in the making already this afternoon. Georgia Tech, a 2-touchdown underdog, out in front of unbeaten South Carolina, 24-0. That game is in the third quarter of play. So Bobby Ross has his Yellow Jackets primed.
Well, Bobby Ross is a coaching mate of mine when we were together at Kansas City Chiefs, Tony, and I have a lot of respect for that young man. I'll tell you one thing, all of his teams are really well prepared. You know him well from Maryland.
Last time Notre Dame defeated Miami of Florida was back in 1982. It was right here in South Bend. The final score was 16-14. But since that time, the Hurricanes have prevailed.
Miami's a true pro offensive set. They'll either go from divided backs, fullback and halfback, always a tight end, flanker, and a split end. They have shown no motion. They run out of the ice sometimes. Sometimes they run the fullback out of the fullback slot. They're just straight, basic, almost the pro look, right down to the cadence.
The last time they came to South Bend was back in '84, and that Hurricane team came up with a 31-13 victory. Bernie Kosar, remember him? 20 out of 29. Alonzo Highsmith scored 4 touchdowns that afternoon, and the Irish were limited to 53 yards rushing.
You mentioned early on in the broadcast we were talking about the backs replacing Highsmith. Cleveland Gary at 6'2", 228 is a tremendous runner and a pro prospect. What is really a contrast is the little halfback that they've got playing is only 170 pounds. That's Len Conley.
Leonard Conley, the tailback, Cleveland Gary, the fullback, wide out to both sides, and Steve Walsh back to throw after a play-action fake. Skies one to the near side. The pass is caught and out of bounds. You got the catch made by Dawkins, and he's out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Todd Light was covering on the play. Now, I don't know if the Irish are going to have to cover a little tighter, Coach, but you can't lay off their receivers that much and not have Walsh complete passes.
As long as they're going to play a zone, you're going to see that kind of completion made. They have to put pressure and play man-to-man defense.
17 yards of the play. Walsh 2 out of 3 in the early going, 37 yards. Throw set this time, slot left, handoff to the left halfback. Conley coming to the outside, and he tried to turn it upfield. He's nailed by Smagala and company. Got hit at about the 38-yard line and got bumped out of bounds by the Irish defense. And so the gain on the play is going to be about 2 from the 36 to the 30, or maybe the 39-yard line. It'll be second down and 8 to go for Miami of Florida.
That's what they call a dip sweep, where it looks like it's going to go off tackle. It depends what happens to the stand-up linebacker over your tight end. Frank Stamps was that stand-up linebacker, fought it off, spun out, and helped on the tackle.
Wide to the left is Randall Hill, the sophomore out of Miami. He'll be covered by Todd Light. We'll get some help from Pat Terrell. Slot to the left side, you've got Randall Hill. Here's the handoff to Cleveland Gary. Spins out of a tackle, tries to turn it upfield, and the Irish defense swarming all over the place. Stop him at the 36-yard line. A A swarming Notre Dame defense stopping Michael Stonebreaker at the bottom of the pile. -2 on the carry. That's going to set up 3rd down and 10. And here's where Miami of Florida gets dangerous.
And Lou Holtz, like in kind, going with a dime backfield. There'll be 6 defensive backs in there. Look for both of the wideouts to be double covered and also the tight end by the strong safety and stand-up linebacker over him.
All right, Andre Jones has just come into the ball game for Notre Dame. For a linebacker, he is super quick. He will rush from the left side. Stams is set up on the right side. Here come the Irish on the all-out blitz. The pass over the middle. The pass caught by Cleveland Gary. Breaks the tackle at the 45. Spins to the 50. And it'll be a 1st down for Miami of Florida. Hit and knocked down by Juan Francisco after picking up 13. And Cleveland Gary is at depth a running back and catching the ball as you're going to find in the country. And right now, Miami 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions.
Tony, that's a great illustration of why you go to divided backs. Both of the backs, Cleveland Gary in that instance, was at right halfback, came right over where a tight end would be aligned, was in the secondary. Walsh read the blitz and just dunked it off. That's what you do.
1st down and 10, the ball at midfield. Walsh has got him up at the line of scrimmage. Slot left with a wingman on the left side. They've got 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, Cleveland Gary. Here's Walsh back to throw. Fires the pass to the far side. It is incomplete. Intended for Conley coming out of the backfield. He got bumped by Time Light just about the time the ball got to him. And if you look at Miami of Florida, they have the 6th best passing offense in the country. They average 307 air yards a game. Now, Walsh, 3 out of 5, 50 yards. It'll be 2nd and 10 with a ball at midfield.
He just audibleized out of a particular call that he had on. It's hard here because of the noise. He had trips to the left, saw something, wanted to go with a short throw.
Now remember, Steve Walsh has not been sacked this season. 2nd and 10 at midfield. Tremendous din here at Notre Dame Stadium. From the pro set, slot left, Walsh, pump. Look, throws it out to the far side. It is incomplete. Pass was intended for Shannon Crowell, a 2-year running back out of Atlanta, Georgia, 5'11", 194-pounder. And now with 2nd down and 10, the ball at midfield. They get 3rd down and 10, the ball at midfield. You got Miami of Florida, and there's where, again, they are so dangerous on 3rd down. They're very adept on 3rd down conversions.
Well, last time the Irish tried to go man underneath and 2 deep zoning backup help. They had 6 defensive backs in the game. They have that again this time.
Miami of Florida came into this game with a 45% 3rd down conversion ratio completion. Back to throw, sets, looks under pressure, being taken, ball knocked away, and they're going to throw to the forward pass. It's incomplete. Well, the Irish got to him. Frank Dams and company put the big question on Wes Pritchett. Andre Jones, you don't have to sack Steve Walsh, but you do have to disrupt his rhythm.
Well, I'll tell you what they did that time. They walked up into really a 9-man front. You didn't know who was going to rush and who was going to fall off with 2 deep safeties. It was a good ploy, a fine defensive move.
Frank Stabs was the man who got to Steve Walsh first. Now Kalal will be punting. The punt is almost blocked by Raghib Ismail. The punt upfield will bounce. Stay away from the Irish. Inside the 25, it's down right there at the 25-yard line. 25-yard punt. Notre Dame takes over the football. 1st down and 10 for the Irish at their own 25.
Well, the one thing the Irish didn't have a chance to do on their first series was run the option. They didn't have any field position. Again, that's what they do best.
No score. First quarter. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual.
Glen Fry for old-style beer.
I got a dream that comes from the heart of the heartland. I can make my dream, 'cause I take my dream right from the heart of the heartland. I won't rest, gonna reach for the best, got it all here in my hand. Wherever I go, gonna let them know I come right from the heart of the heartland.
Reach for the best. Old-style beer. G. Hallinan Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Tony Roberts along with Tom Pagna. 59,075 fanatics here at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. We talked about streaks. The Irish have some streaks. They've won 8 straight here at Notre Dame Stadium. They have not won 9 in a row at home since prevailing in the last 4 games of the 76 season and then taking all 5 in the 1977 championship year. So it's been over a decade since the Irish have accomplished that. We're going to pause briefly here for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. Well, On the first series, Tom Pagna, the Irish did not try to ram the football down the collective throats of the Miami Hurricanes because they got 2 yards on the first play and then took to the air.
I think they have to do that, Tony. I think what they have to do is break all tradition or all of their past game experience this first 5 games of this season. Run when you're not supposed to, pass when you're not supposed to, play different defense as they have shown on that last series.
In essence, throw the ball on first down.
I think that's a great down to throw the ball. Not all the time, but it's a great down to open a series with.
Okay, but then if you're 2nd and 10, what do you do, Coach?
Well, you have to see how it goes. You have to have faith that first down's going to go, or there's no sense in calling it.
Irish settle up between the 50 and 20-yard line. 9:34 left to go in the quarter. There is no score. Notre Dame second possession. Wide to the right is Ismail. Out to the left is Eilers. The I-tatter for the Irish. Tony Brooks now replaces Mark Green. He is the fullback, or rather the tailback. Brooks taking the pitch, sweeping to the right, cuts the field, gets up to about the 25, and I want to tell you, folks, he was hit by that Miami defense. They can play some kind of defense, and when they stick you, you've been stuck.
Well, I was going to say, Tony, we're looking at 2 really great defensive teams today. This might not be the high-scoring affair that we all thought it would be because both of those defenses covered some field.
Brooks tried to turn it upfield, and he got nailed and nailed hard. No gain. 2nd down 10 at the 25-yard line. Slot. No flanker left. Wide out right. I get him. Handoff on the draw. And Mark Green trying to get some yardage. Got up past the 25 to about the 27 to 28-yard line. A short gain of about 3, and that's going to leave Notre Dame now with 3rd down at about 3 to make that 7 yards to go for a first down at their own 28-yard line.
One of the conservative calls that Holt seems to like in these situations is to swing him back out of the backfield. Don't let him cross the line of scrimmage. Dunk him the ball. It's kind of like a sweep. I'd like to see that here.
3rd down and 7 from the 28. Same formation. And Tony Rice back to throw. Sets. Looks. Fired the pass far side. Man is open. Catch by Ismail. First down at the 50-yard line. Raghib Ismail. And you got to credit Tony Rice because he stood his ground in there and then fired a ball upfield toward the Miami of Florida bench and put that ball right in between 2 defenders into the hands of the freshman from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
A week ago, Tony Rice had success hitting the I-back or the fullback that led him after he faked to them through the line. This time he looked at him and then saw Raghib hit him on the nail.
First down and 10 for the Irish up in midfield. Rice about to take the snap from Mike Held. He's got a slot left and an I-tandem. There might have been an offside somewhere. Rice on the option. First time he's run that. Turns it upfield, gets down to about the 46-yard line. Gets stopped by Shane Curry would be the man who was offside on the play. So now it'll be a pickup of 4 if they keep it. Let's see if the penalty is on Miami of Florida. Officials talking it over. Tony Rice came into this game 28 out of 55, 401 yards, 51% completion percentage. Intercepted 4 times. He's got 3 touchdown tosses. Matter of fact, his longest touchdown toss, a 54-yarder, went to Raghib Ismail. The first penalty of the game, and it's going to be against Miami of Florida, which will bring the ball down to the 45-yard line and make it first down and 5. Now, one thing we got to clear up. Last Saturday night, Pittsburgh had 12 men on the playing field when they were punting. That's an ineligible man on the field. Unsportsmanlike conduct. It's a 15-yard penalty in college. It is only a 5-yard penalty in professional football. First down and 5 from the 45. Here's the fake on the option. Rice turns it upfield, trying to get it inside the 40-yard line for a first down. Got nailed at about the 41 as the Miami defense gangs up on him there. And so it'll be second down and about a yard to go for a first down. 2nd and 1 for the Irish at the 41. Brooks comes out and Mark Green replaces him at tailback.
Miami seems to stay pretty much in the same defensive look. They employ what they call single free safety. All of the wide receivers are it looks to me that they're trying to funnel them in. They play them from the outside in to a single safety man.
Miami with a 4-3-4 defensive alignment. Hand off to Green. Can't go inside. Goes to the outside. He's going to get down to the 40-yard line, and he may not have the first down. Shane Curry came up to make the hit on the play. And, you almost get the feeling that Miami is a little stronger and a little quicker than Notre Dame in the early going, Tom.
Well, they're a good team, 8th in the nation defensively, and I wasn't real sure how sound they'd be against the run because if you recall early on, Michigan, in that wonderful game that they played, Michigan actually dominated the line of scrimmage and ran on them, and I thought maybe the Irish could.
I believe it's just short of the first down, so that'll make it third down and just inches to go for a first down.
There's a penalty on the play, so that's going to even change things more.
What was the penalty for? Well, they walked off 5.
But the down remained the same, so it's second.
Second down and 6. The ball is back at the 46. Eilers to the right. Out to the left, you've got Alanis. We haven't seen Ricky Waters as a wide receiver as yet. Running the option left, pitching out. Here's Brooks 50. Brooks to the 45. Brooks down to the 40-yard line. Not quite enough. He got down to the 40-yard line before he finally got stopped just shy of the first down. Maurice Crum, a sophomore from Tampa, Florida, made the stop on the play, but not quite enough for a first down. And again, we're back to third down and less than a yard to go for a first down. Now, was South Carolina ready to play today? I don't know, but Georgia Tech was 31-0 in the third quarter. The Yellow Jackets on top. For the first time this afternoon, on third down, a half yard to go, Notre Dame goes to its wishbone backfield. Double tight end. Handoff going to the fullback. Braxton Banks breaks through down to the 35, down to the 30, carries men with him, down to the 28-yard line and a first down. Braxton Banks carried 2 Miami of Florida defenders with him for a first down. One happened to be Donald Ellis. The other one was a linebacker, Randy Shannon, and a first down for the Irish inside the 30, down around, let's see if they're going to mark it right around the 28, 13 yards on the play.
And he ran right over Winston Sandry at left guard and Andy Heck at left tackle. Braxton Banks picking up the first down.
Wide to the right, Ishmael. Slot right, Eilers. Brooks now is the tailback. The tight end is to the left side. Tony Rice fakes, hands it off. The ball goes to Brooks. Brooks inside the 25, down to the 21-yard line before getting tripped up from behind.
That's a little play we haven't seen, I don't think, this year. It's a counter play, but it's not a wide counter play. It's a hitch step in the backfield for an I-back. All the motion going right, both the guards pulling, and it hit inside on the left, over the left guard, left tackle area.
That's the play that the Redskins made famous with John Riggin.
That's counter gap, but that goes a little wider. This was a little tighter.
Slot right. A pickup on the play of about 7.5. It'll be second down and short. Handoff to Anthony Johnson. And Johnson spins inside the 20. May have gotten as far as about the 19-yard line. And still will be short of a first down by about a half yard. So it's going to be third down and perhaps a half yard to go for a first down.
Tony, this is one of those opportunities that I was saying about you got to think differently than you've thought the first 5 games in your scouting report. To me, this is I don't like the word, a waste down. This is third and short. Everybody expects them to run. I'm not so sure that I would here.
Meanwhile, they're going to measure. While they measure, we'll look at the scoreboard. Florida State 21, East Carolina 14, second quarter. Nebraska 21, Oklahoma State nothing, first quarter. No surprise there. Sooners of Oklahoma 21, Kansas State nothing, first quarter. Auburn 21, Akron nothing. Jerry Faucitt's going to be in for a long afternoon in Zip City. That's in the first quarter. Wyoming 14, New Mexico 7. Wyoming will probably win the WAC. That's in the second quarter of play. Arkansas 10, Texas 3 in the second quarter. Indiana leads Minnesota 6-0 in the first quarter of play. And at 7-6 Vanderbilt over Florida. That game is in the third quarter. And now you got Columbia and Yale 10-10. That's the one I really needed. That game is in the third quarter. Wishbone. Third down. And less than a half yard to go for a first down. As the Irish go to the wishbone, the football settled at about the 19-yard line of Miami of Florida. Third and a half. Miami with 5 men up on the line of scrimmage. 3 linebackers up very, very close. At left halfback in that wishbone, you've got Mark Green. On the option, fake to the fullback. Tony Rice cuts it in. He's got the first down. He's inside the 15. He's down to about the 12 or 13-yard line. Nice bit of running by Tony Rice.
Now, the 5-3 defense that Miami showed is excellent against the run. And that had to be blocked perfectly and read perfectly by Tony Rice. After he faked to the fullback, he glided on down, found a little opening around the off tackle, and cut it across the grain.
Notre Dame, 3 of 4 on third down conversions. First down and 10 Irish at the Miami 13-yard line. Again, that 5-3 defense for Miami. I tandem, hand off to Brooks. Brooks off the left side, bounces around, turns around the other way, cuts it back up the middle, tries to get something out of the play, and will get stopped for a loss at about the 14 or 15-yard line.
Well, there was penetration by the Miami defensive line, which forced the ball handling action to be a little delayed. Brooks really didn't have anything to do or any place to go and just improvised.
So now the Irish are going to face second down and 12. The ball at the 14.5-yard line. No score. 4 minutes, 29 seconds left to go in the first quarter. This is the 11th play in this drive. Eilers goes wide to the right as the flanker. You've got Rod West in at one tight end. Derek Brown into the other spot. You've got a throw set, double tight end, flanker right. Here's Rice on the keeper, on the low, naked reverse, down to the 10-yard line, down to the 5, or down to the 7 and out of bounds. Tony Rice, everybody ran to the right, and Tony just put the ball on his hip and circled around the left side and got nailed at the 7-yard line.
That's a good calculated gamble down there, because usually against man-to-man defense, the one guy that you don't cover in man-to-man is the quarterback, and if he can fool somebody and almost outleg the halfback, he'd sneak into the end zone.
So now it is third down. He picked up the 2 they lost and about 5 more after that. Third down and 4, Notre Dame with a ball at the Miami 7-yard line. Again the double tight end. Again the wishbone. Just about 11 men up on the line of scrimmage. Here's Rice, 5 yards. To the goal line and a touchdown. Tony Rice faked the ball to the fullback, circle to the right, hit the spot at the 5-yard line, and nobody touched him and burst into the end zone. The Irish go 75 yards in 12 plays, and they take the lead 6-0.
Miami was in a goal line defense, and they bought the fake to Braxton Banks. Everybody converged on Braxton Banks. Tony Rice had a free ride home around the outside and right in.
And now it is up to Reggie Ho. And for Tony Rice, that will be touchdown number 6 rushing this season. Reggie Ho will drive it a point after. Snap, the spot down, the kick is up, and it is good. With a score 7-0 Notre Dame. A timeout now this for Progresso Soups.
There's no better way to warm up during the game than with Progresso's delicious family of hot and hearty soups. Bring a container of Progresso cream of mushroom, cream of chicken with mushroom, or any of our other hearty flavors to the game, and enjoy the warm glow and wholesome goodness of Progresso soup. Its smooth richness and sunny Italian flavor is sure to please and score points in the stands. So remember, bring soup to the game, because there's no soup like Progresso.
Tidy Cat 3, it's a hard-working cat box filler.
Well, Tidy Cat 3, Tidy Cat 3, when you go. It's deodorizer better, a form like a real go-getter. Leaves no dust, no cracks around. Tidy Cat 3.
I'm Ed Lowe. My Tidy Cat 3 is 99% dust-free, so it's cleaner and healthier for your cat. And with my Tidy Cat 3 cat box liners, you may never have to wash your cat box again.
The Irish go 75 yards in 12 plays. What made that play go was the fake to the fullback, and then Rice cut upfield and got a great block from Tony Rice on Miami of Florida's linebacker, or strong safety, Barry Harton, a junior out of Fort Lauderdale, and it was enough of a block to spring Tony Rice for the touchdown. As a matter of fact, Tony Rice didn't know, Brooks didn't know if Rice was going to go outside or cut upfield, because he started to go outside to lead the play. Randall Hill, far side. Darrell Spencer on the near. And Hackett awaiting the football. This is the 20th time that Notre Dame has faced a top-ranked team. And if you look at the record, the Irish are 5-13-1 against number ones. But they've also done a great job in breaking streaks. 1946, that 0-0 tie with Army, snapped the 25-game winning streak. 53, 27-14 over Georgia Tech, ending a 31-game winning streak. 57, 7-0 over Oklahoma, 47-game winning streak, longest ever. 71, 24-11, beating Texas. A 30-game winning streak ended. 73, 23-14 over Southern Cal, a 23-game winning streak. You remember some of those, Coach?
I sure do. A lot of goose pimples.
Hackett to kickoff. Hill far side. Spencer on the near. And the Irish in front, 7-0. The run up and the kick. End over end, they're coming down. Hill says, I'll take it. Looks up at the sun, grabs it at the 3, to the 5, gets to the 10, hits the 15, 20, gets the gap, to the 25, to the 30, penalty marker, back around the 17-yard line, and up around the 37-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 there. Maybe Stans Magala making the hit, but the penalty marker thrown way behind the kickoff returner, Tom Bagnum.
Here's the signal now, a clip on Miami.
So it'll be ball back. Miami of Florida would have had the ball up the 37-yard line, first down and 10. But it will be called back. Wes Pritchett now coming into the lineup for Notre Dame at linebacker. And the clipping call with a flag thrown at the 17-yard line. And Pritchett exhorting the crowd to stand up and cheer. I don't think he has to do that, Coach, to be honest with you.
You're right. He doesn't.
So, that's going to put Miami of Florida in the hole, but Notre Dame certainly cannot afford to relax. The Hurricanes back at their 9-yard line, first down. First and 10 at their own 9. Steve Walsh, 3 of 7. They've gotten to him a couple of times. He's thrown the ball for 50 yards. Randall Hill wide to the right. Dale Dawkins flank to the left. The I tandem. Here's the turnaround to give to Conley, and Conley gets nailed. Oh, did he get hit? Chris Sorensen, the nose guard, bursting through and hit him, just hit him and stood him straight up and then drove him right into the turf.
Chris Sorensen at 6'2", 260 pounds, moved from the nose guard position, followed the flow, and boy, he met him as head-on as you can meet a tackle.
They got the ball up to the 9-yard line. It'll be second down and 10, no gain on the play. Miami has 5 yards and 6 rushing attempts. Hill comes out to the right. Dawkins wide to the left. The backs are split. Handoff, no. Fake to Cleveland Gary. Firing over the middle to the big tight end. Chudzinski's got it at the 25, and he is nailed. Stans Magala made the hit on the play. And then Volkar was also there. 17 yards on the play to the 6'4", 220-pound sophomore out of Toledo, Ohio, and a first down for Miami of Florida up at the 26.
A companion play to the pass game, the pocket pass game that Miami runs, is the draw. That time, they faked the draw. That really froze linebackers, gave the tight end a chance to get in that center leaguer field position.
Walsh's completion, all in double digits. Hand off to Cleveland Gary, finds a little gap, fights his way to the 30-31. Once runs into Wes Pritchett at that spot, and a couple of other Irish defenders. Frank Stamps is also there, and the stop is made at the 31-yard line. After a gain of almost 5 yards, it'll be second down and 5. When you look at Walsh's completions, 20 yards, 17 yards, 13 yards, and 17 yards.
He's very composed, Tony. As a matter of fact, it looked to me like he was just now replacing a divot.
Randall Hill goes wide to the left. Dawkins comes out to the right. I tandem once again. Play action fake. Walsh looking, throwing the alley-oop down the near side. It is incomplete. Well, a little mix-up on that play because Dale Dawkins started to curl in, and George Streeter racing toward the sideline in front of the Notre Dame bench, trying to catch up with that rainbow tossed by Walsh, and obviously Walsh threw the ball, and Randall Hill was not there.
3rd and 5 in the dime backfield. The 6 defensive backs are in for the Irish.
3rd down and 5 with the ball at the 31. Notre Dame out in front by a score of 7-0. We've got 1 minute and 48 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. Tony Rice galloping in off the right side on the option on a 7-yard touchdown run. Hill to the left. Dawkins out to the right. 3rd down and 5. Back to throw. Walsh over the middle. The pass is intercepted. Picked off. It's grabbed out there and brought back to the 40, down to about the 35-yard line. It's Juan Francisco. Juan Francisco picked it off.
I think Walsh threw that ball a little before he wanted to. They had trips to the right. 3 receivers, a tight end, a slot man, and a flanker back. 2 backs and a tight end to the right. They worked a pattern, but there were people in man-to-man coverage, the dime backfield, and also had a backup safety. So it was a good defense to be in.
Miami has turned the ball over twice now in the first quarter. And for the Irish, their 10th interception of the year. They had 12 a year ago. I tandem at the 35. Fumbled on the play. Who's got the football? Somebody's got to pick the ball up. I believe Miami's recovered. There's also a penalty marker on the play at the 31-yard line. Another penalty marker at the 35-yard line. Bernard Clark, who was the most valuable player in the Orange Bowl game last year, the victory over Oklahoma, was the man who recovered the fumble. He's the outside linebacker, or sometimes also plays the middle linebacker, depending if Ron Carter can play or not.
Who this penalty is on is everything.
Holding is the call against the Irish. Holding is the call against Miami of Florida.
It was a fumble exchange from the center to the quarterback. It bobbled. Tony Rice never really even found it.
Well, the Irish let a big one get away as they turned it over for the very first time. So a fumble recovery by Bernard Clark. And you've got Miami of Florida with the ball. First down and 10 at the Hurricane 32. So the enthusiasm of the Irish 59,075 faithful here at Notre Dame Stadium, predominantly an Irish crowd, or maybe more than that in the stadium actually, has to be tempered a little bit. On first down, the handoff, swinging to the right, and Conley to the 30, 35, up at it as he gets to about the 37-yard line. Coming up to make the hit with the linebacker, Arnold Ollie, but Leonard Conley, very, very fast. He's light. He's only 170 pounds, but he's probably the fastest player on the Miami of Florida team. He's picked up a good 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5 to go from the 37.
I was about to say that, Tony, that he moved that ball about as quickly as I ever saw anybody get around the right side of the Notre Dame defense, or the left side of the Notre Dame defense.
Andre Brown in the game, wide to the left. Senior out of Chicago, Illinois. Hill out to the right. Play action fake, rolling to the left. Walsh back to throw. Fires on the run. Passes caught. Cleveland Gary down to the 45, to 50 on his feet. Notre Dame territory. Finally dragged down by Todd Light at the Irish 43-yard line. Second catch of the afternoon for Cleveland Gary, the senior out of Indiantown, Florida, had a first down for Miami at the Irish 42 or 43.
I think we're seeing, Tony, and you made a remark early on, how do you move from number 8 to number 1? Because of the composure, because of the experience of Steve Walsh moving that thing. That play was good for 20 yards, pass and run combined.
It is first down and 10. The ball at the 43. Walsh on the handoff, going to Conley, cuts back against the grain, gets inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. Finally dropped at that spot as Wes Pritchett makes the tackle for Notre Dame. A gain on the play of about 4. When you're talking about Cleveland Gary, you're talking about a young man who transferred from Georgia. He's a converted halfback, plays fullback, leading rusher, leading pass receiver, and leading scorer for Miami of Florida. Plus, he's got the biggest hands on the team. Maybe that's why he's the leading scorer.
Sure.
Second down and 6. The ball at the 39, and what do we got? A timeout call?
Quarter.
Got the end of the quarter. End of the first quarter of play with a score. Notre Dame 7, Miami nothing, but the Hurricanes are driving. Now this for General Motors.
Laminated safety glass, collapsible steering columns, side guard door beams, self-aligning steering wheels, crash test dummies, child safety seats, airbags. All these life-saving innovations were pioneered by General Motors. Behind them all is GM's unmatched understanding of automotive safety. The Society of Automotive Engineers has published more safety-related professional papers from General Motors than from any other car maker in the world. General Motors, the world leader in safety research.
Every day, it's like my family's on a merry-go-round. So whatever else I do, every day I make sure they eat right and get their one-a-day vitamins. It has all the essential vitamins and minerals they need. And now they've made one-a-day maximum formula even better with beta-carotene, the nutrient from fruits and vegetables that most of us don't get enough of. And isn't it just like one-a-day to give us more beta-carotene than any other leading brand? I think they did it just for us.
One a day, every day, because your health is number one.
Thanks, Mom.
The first quarter numbers favor Miami of Florida, but the scoreboard says Notre Dame 7 and Miami nothing. 4 first downs apiece. Miami with 19 yards on the ground, 87 through the air as expected, 106 total yards. The Irish 57 yards rushing. That's about just as many as they got in the game against Miami of Florida in the Orange Bowl on that Saturday night when they lost 24-0 a year ago. 22 through the air, 79 total. 1 out of 3 for Tony Rice, 5 out of 11 for Steve Walsh. Walsh has had 1 pass picked off. Each team has lost the ball on a fumble. 1 penalty for the Irish, 5 yards, 2 for Miami, 13. 20 plays for the Hurricanes and 16 for the Irish. So pretty even ball game. And I think what Notre Dame can't afford to do, Tom Bagner, obviously, is give up the big play.
Well, they hadn't made any mistakes until that fumble recovery, and that's really a shame because it was a good break. They got an interception midfield, moving in for maybe a second one.
Well, they got 2 breaks. There were 2 fumbles, both recovered by Notre Dame, and Notre Dame did not capitalize on either turnover. Their touchdown came on a 12-play, 75-yard drive with Tony Rice running the option right and going in from the 7-yard line.
One of the things, Tony, that jumps out at me about Miami in comparison to the great Miami team of a year ago is that this team is not as big, but I do believe they're a little quicker.
And they hit just as hard.
Oh, yes. I thought Notre Dame has done a good job so far of mixing up their defenses. They're giving all kinds of looks. They're double covering wide receivers. They're manning underneath with 2 cornerbacks and all the linebackers and playing deep with 2 safeties, and they're also playing zone.
We spoke of how Miami has dominated football in the 1980s. This is the 100th game of the decade. They've won 81 of them. They've lost 18. That's 82%. Second only to Nebraska, 86 and 17, 84%. Second down. They had about 6 yards to go for a first down. The ball is at the Irish 39-yard line. Handoff. Cleveland Gary trying to get to the outside. Frank Sands has got him and dropped him for a loss. Cleveland Gary couldn't go inside. Made a quick move to the outside, and number 30, Frank Sands, was there and just grabbed him around the shoulders and dropped him for a loss of 3. And now it's going to be third down and about 8 yards to go for a first down.
Frank Sands has really been a solid pillar to lean on for that defense. He just really gives you effort.
The deep backs for the Irish, McDowell at left corner. You got Pat Terrell at the right corner along with Todd Light. Todd Light is the right corner. Juan Francisco's in there along with George Streeter. So the Irish going with 2 linebackers. Walks back to throw from a throw set. Set all kinds of time. Fires up the middle. The pass is caught. Juan Francisco makes the stop. Andre Brown makes the catch. And it's going to be a first down at the 22-yard line.
Tony, the Miami people up in the booth have obviously spotted something. Notre Dame has had good success. They got an interception with man underneath, man-to-man coverage, 2 deep zone. The way to beat that is to take your man all the way across and drive off the deep safety. That's exactly what they did. Picked up 20 yards and a first down.
And there was no pressure on the quarterback, Walsh. First down and 10, Miami at the Irish 22. Hill wide right. Andre Brown has caught 2 passes out to the left as a flanker. Here's the reverse spin. Walsh looking, swings it out to the near side to Conley. Conley breaks the tackle, gets down to the 15-yard line. Arnold Ollie had a shot at him at the 20-yard line, but he ran right through an arm tackle, and it was Jeff Alm who finally made the stop on the play. After a gain of about almost 8 yards, about 7.5, it'll be second down and 2.5 for Miami of Florida at the 15-yard line.
Well, now, this is where the Irish have got to play really stiff in the defense. They can't afford to blitz corner or safety, but I think you can look for some of those linebackers on the outside or Stonebreaker and Pritchett from the inside.
Tight end is left. They're going to slot to the right. The I-tandem. Here's the handoff to Conley. Conley off the right side. Fight to the 10, and he's got a first down inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line. Leonard Conley, who drives down to the 7, and it is now first down and goal to go. And when the Irish got to the 7-yard line, when they were going the other way in the first quarter, they went in with Tony Rice scoring from the 7. So Miami trying to tie it up. They trail here by a score of 7-0. We're at the top of the second quarter, 13 minutes and 5 seconds left to play.
Anchoring the Miami line is the left guard, Mike Sullivan, Bob Garcia, the center, Barry Pansel at right guard. That's where they're running behind right now.
Brown in the slot, Randall Hill the wideout. I-tandem once again. Cleveland Gary is the fullback. Leonard Conley now. They shift out of the I. They go to a pro set. They're going to call for a timeout here. Miami of Florida calls for a timeout. 7-0 Irish. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual.
There may be a wide variety of VCRs on the market to choose from, but there's only one right choice, Zenith. The quality and dependable service that has been Zenith's trademark for 70 years is designed into every Zenith VCR. Now during Zenith's premiere days, choose the model that is right for you at a price you can afford. With freeze frame, slow motion, wireless remote, all are easy to use. Prices start at $279. See your Zenith dealer today and insist on the best. Zenith.
First down and goal to go Miami down around the Irish 7-yard line, and Steve Walsh took a look across the line of scrimmage, switched his back out of the I to a split back situation with a slot to the right, and then decided to call a timeout.
Tony, I think that's probably as wise a play as he could have done, because what he allowed to happen was he looked at the defense as his backs aligned. He knew right now what defense they were in, knew he had a bad call on, went to the sideline and said, let's talk it over. Used a timeout, but it was worth it.
And that's the one thing that Jimmy Johnson really likes about his quarterback, Steve Walsh. He knows the offense. He knows what makes it work. And that's why he's the #1 signal caller. He may not be their best quarterback from a standpoint of talent.
Well, so many times that's the case. Yeah, there are other qualities involved besides pure and raw talent.
Since that Juan Francisco interception, Steve Walsh has nailed 3 straight passes. And he is 7 out of 13 with 114 yards as of this moment.
His last 20-yard completion, I wanted to remark again, caught them in a perfect play against a good defense. They were man-to-man underneath, and that's the way you beat a man-to-man underneath. You use a crossing pattern and drive off one through the deep safety.
Walsh hails from St. Paul, Minnesota, 6'3", 195-pound junior. And he has talked about the possibility of casting his name in a draft and maybe turning pro.
Well, Miami quarterback draft status, their stock is high right now.
Brown in the slot to the right, Randall Hill the wideout. Jasinski the tight end is left. Walsh has to yell and scream so his people can hear. They go from the I to a split Banks. Here's Walsh taking the snap, looking, firing the pass far side. It's going to be caught. Andre Brown, did he make it? Touchdown is the call. Andre Brown made the catch. The man covering Andre Brown on the play never saw the football. All he saw was the back of Andre Brown, his numbers, 83.
Well, they always say that the offensive receiver has a slight advantage. That time Andre Brown took off at a 45-degree angle. He knows what he's going to do. That's action. Reaction by the defense is half a step behind. A perfect throw beats a half a step behind.
So an 8-yard touchdown toss by Walsh to Andre Brown. And now Carlos Huerta, who's a walk-on, has a chance to tie it up. Ball to be spotted down at the 10. The spot, the kick is up. It's a knuckler. It's good. So we've got a brand new ball game. We've got a timeout. The game is deadlocked at 7. Now this for Progresso Soups.
After the game, Progresso invites you to enjoy the warm glow of their hot and hearty soups. An ideal way to heat up at victory or post-game parties. Progresso's winning tradition of quality taste goes well with any football tradition. Serve Progresso at your next football party and score cheers from friends and family. Try Progresso's new flavors and single-serving soups, too. Packed so full of wholesome goodness that you'll realize there is no soup like Progresso.
A pop-a-doo-bud-bud, a doo-bud-bud, a pop-a-doo-bud-bud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A pop-a-doo-bud-bud, a doo-bud-bud, a pop-a-doo-bud-bud.
Put on your dancing shoes. The rhythm and blues. Tell a friend or two. The buzz for you. You keep on coming through. Cause you really make it work, yeah. This buzz for you. This buzz.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This buzz for you.
You look and look again. It's a totally new automobile. Yet you know what it is. You've never seen it, but you recognize it immediately. The classic lines, the distinctive shape. Contemporary as a car can be, yet it recalls a grand tradition. It's obviously the Riviera, the 1989 Buick Riviera. It's a classic all over again.
The game is deadlocked at 7. 12 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first half. And the Irish will receive, and it'll be Raghib Ismail standing down around the goal line. The upbacks on the far side, Juan Francisco, and on the near side, fullback Anthony Johnson. And Carlos Huerta is waiting for the football and would like to get the kickoff underway. Tony Rice had very good game against Stanford. He's 1 of 3 passing, 22 yards, but he's got 27 yards and 5 carries, so the passing game a little slow to come around. But the running game, good for Notre Dame's touchdown.
They're always talking about the quarterback has to be one of the best athletes on the field, and in his case, that's very true. He's probably a halfback playing quarterback. Got a great arm. He hadn't quite put it all together yet. Benish will be kicking off, and not Carlos Huerta.
Miami, like Notre Dame, has 2 kickers. So Benish will handle the kickoff charge, and Werder will handle a field goal. The run-up and the kick, it is high, it is deep, and Ismail backs up about 5 yards. He's going to start to bring it out, decides not to. The Irish will take the ball out at the 20-yard line, and it'll be first down and 10 for Notre Dame at the 20.
He was tempted, Tony. He caught it 3 yards deep. I think his judgment took over, and it's good.
It'll be first down and 10 for Notre Dame at the 20-yard line. And joining Tony Rice in the backfield, you'll have Mark Green for 1. And let's see who gets to play fullback. Ismail stays in the game. He's the wide out to the far side. Braxton Banks is the fullback. And Pat Eilers is the flanker to the right. Rice will take the snap. Turns around, gives it to Green. Green trying to bounce off. Does bounce off a couple of tackles. Cuts back against the grain. And finally gets nailed by Bubba McDowell, the free safety. If McDowell doesn't get Mark Green by extending that arm, Mark Green has got some big yards. He still gets 6. It'll be second down and 4.
That Irish offensive line on the right side, tight end also. That's Andy Heck. Derek Brown doing a good job.
So it'll be second down and about 4 yards to go. The ball at the 26-yard line. Tony Brooks has replaced Mark Green at tailback. Same alignment. Split end left, flanker to the right. Quick toss right side. Brooks looking for a block, turns it upfield. Not going to get much. And a penalty marker on the play. Penalty marker on the play after Tony Brooks is hit at about the 27-yard line. And who will the call be against?
It was on a wide receiver and defensive back, mixed it up out here.
Eilers was out there, and he was with Bobby Hart. Bobby Hart. It's going to be a holding call against Notre Dame.
That's a costly penalty.
Yep, the Irish can't afford those kind of mistakes, not with second down and about 5 to go, or third down and short coming up.
Well, what it does now is it forces their hand into another kind of a play. They've got to go for one of the more riskier, maybe put the ball in the air, and I know that Lou is not prone to want to do that.
Eilers on the sideline pleading his case with the officials, but they're not buying it. So he got mixed up with Bobby Hart, and Eilers saying, hey, if you're going to call me for holding, what about his grabbing my face mask?
Ricky Waters just went into the game as Eilers exited.
The gain was 2, and of course the 10-yard penalty. That's going to make it second down and about 13 yards to go for a first down. Ismail wide to the right. Waters is a flanker off to the left side. The backs are split. Tony Rice back to throw. On second down and long, looking, firing the pass along the field. Pass is incomplete. Was intended for Raghib Ismail and covered very nicely by Bubba McDowell. Pass was overthrown, actually, and Ismail would have had to be about as tall as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to flag that one down. So now it becomes third down and long, about 13 to go. And on third down conversions, the Irish have been very adept, 80%, 4 out of 5. Again, it's Ismail wide to the right and Waters out to the left. Now you got a 4-3-4 alignment for Miami of Florida. Backs are split, Rice back to throw. Deep drop look. Is it going to be a screen? Nope. Throwing long. Trying to get it to Ismail. Long downfield. Got it. Good. And he falls out at the 25-yard line. Raghib Ismail took the ball away from McDowell, who fell. And Ismail made the over-the-shoulder grab. And as he did so, he stumbled and fell at the 25-yard line.
Tony, Bubba McDowell was the free safety, and he misjudged that ball. That ball traveled, stayed up there. Raghib never quit on it. It was good for a 47-yard completion.
Well, Raghib was there. The ball was there. His second catch of the afternoon, and the Irish have the ball first down and 10 at the 25.
I marvel at that freshman's presence.
Wide left, Alney. Slot left, Waters. High tandem. Brooks the tailback. Turn around, fake to the fullback, on the option right. Tony Rice cuts upfield, down to the 20, and knocked out at the 19-yard line. That play looked like it was going nowhere but out of bounds because Tony Rice was rapidly running out of running room, made a sharp cut to the left, turned it upfield, and picked up about 6 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 4 at the 19-yard line of Miami. Again, Albanese and Waters. The wide out in the slot to the left side. 57 yards, not 47 on that completion. Did give it to the fullback. Braxton Banks bounces off a couple of people, and he drags a couple after getting shoved back to the 20, down to about the 16-yard line. So Braxton's going to leave him with a 3-yard gain or so, and it's going to be 3rd down and about a yard to go for a first down. The Irish have to get the football inside the 15-yard line for a first down.
Rod West has gone in, so they'll probably have 2 tight ends go to that wishbone look again. It'd be a great down for a run-action pass.
Well, they go to the wishbone because Ricky Waters comes out, and Eiler's in at the left halfback spot. Green is in at right halfback, Braxton Banks the fullback, double tight end, fake to the fullback, option right, Rice on the run, no, not going to get it. He got nailed there, as he got nailed in the backfield by Rod Carter, who came into the ball game. Rod Carter, a senior linebacker, and one of the better Miami of Florida defenders, 6'1", 231-pounder, knife through to make the stop on the play, no gain, and now it is 4th down and a yard to go for a first down at the 16-yard line.
Well, they haven't. They could have easily gone for a field goal here. I think he's not going to do it. He just sent in Tony Brooks.
Brooks in, and Mark Green is out. Again, double tight end, wishbone. Here's the handoff to Braxton Banks, and he's got the first down. Braxton Banks, pressed up by Bernard Clark and company, but he gets inside the 15, down to about the 14, maybe the 13 and a half, and it's first down for Notre Dame. And Tom Magna, I don't think I've ever seen Braxton Banks run better than he has the last 2 weeks.
Well, he had to sit out, Tony. Nothing stimulates you like sitting out. You know,
I never sat in the bench, Tom.
Lou Holtz made a courageous call right there. He really did. He went for it.
It is first down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Again, the wishbone. Here's the toss, right side. Turning upfield, down to the 10-yard line, down to the 9-yard line. You got the Irish with about a 6-yard pickup as Ricky Waters wasn't too happy about 2 plays ago when Eilers came in to replace him, and the Irish were going to go on that wishbone set. This time, he carries the ball downfield, and he gets it inside the 10, down to the 9, a pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5, Notre Dame, at the Miami 9. The game is tied at 7. We've got 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first half, but Notre Dame is knocking on the door. Eilers flank to the left, double tight end, I-tandem this time. Here's Rice on the option, running it right down to the 10. He's going to get hit from behind. It's down to just about the 9-yard line, maybe right around the line of scrimmage, and no more.
Tony, I don't want to be the guy that tells the Emperor he has no clothes on, but they really need to pass the ball here. If nothing more than throw it away just to loosen things up, because they've moved so well, and this is a key position for a score.
Well, Jimmy Jones saw enough option when he coached in the Big 8. Plus the fact that they've had 2 weeks to defense the option. It's not like they haven't seen it before.
I think they got to put it up here. I really do.
Well, they go slot left. Tight end Derek Brown is right. I-tandem Tony Brooks is the tailback. Back to throw. Tony Rice got the time. Dumps it over the middle. It's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown to Braxton Banks. Braxton Banks was wide open after releasing at the 5-yard line, and Tony Brooks, a soft floater to Braxton Banks, and he took it into the end zone unattended, and he got the touchdown, and the Irish had the lead.
Tony, I think that's a perfect call. Coming through the line, very hard to see. Everybody deployed on tight end and slot. A nice call by Lou Holtz and staff.
So Notre Dame's out in front, 13-7. And Reggie Hull will try for the PAT as the Irish go 80 yards in 10 plays. Pete Graham is the holder. Reggie's missed a couple of PATs the last couple of games. Kick is up, and it's good. Timeout with a score, Notre Dame 14, Miami 7. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual.
Many so-called advanced business communication systems give you lots of features, but when it comes to service...
Now, can I get a backup if my phone system goes down?
Sure, just come on over and you can make all the calls you want.
Other systems just aren't as reliable as Centrex from Illinois Bell. That's because Centrex relies on equipment that's kept at the Illinois Bell central office, not your office. So you never have problems like...
Can I add automatic callback to my system? No problem. We'll just come out and add some more hardware, change a few wires, reprogram the system.
With Centrex, you can add or change features with just a phone call, while Illinois Bell technicians work round the clock to keep your system working like it should. So you don't have to put up with...
Hello, this is Business Phone Systems Unlimited.
Yeah, I'm having a problem with...
We aren't here right now, but if you leave a message...
With Centrex, we take care of your phone system 24 hours a day, so you can take care of business. To learn more, just call 312-CENTREX, C-E-N-T-R-E-X.
Well, Tom Pagna, the Big E is still a factor here here because the Irish haven't let their fans sit on their hands here. They're still very much in the ball game. Notre Dame leads 14-7. Fourth touchdown pass of the year for Tony Rice. He's got one long one to Raghib Ismail, but the others have all been short. About an 8-yarder to Derek Brown, about a 3-yarder to Derek Brown, and this one a 9-yarder to Braxton Banks, but a perfect ball because he was all alone.
Tony, another thing, that was an 80-yard drive, and if you remember, it was really more than 80 because they were penalized, and then Ismail made that great catch. Notre Dame drives 75 yards in 12 plays.
And 80 yards in 10.
80 and 10. That tells you they're ready to play.
It also tells you that the Miami of Florida offense is on the bench when that's happening.
Yes.
Tony Rice, 3 out of 6, 88 yards, a touchdown.
And I want to remark again about Ismail. I think he's one of the most polished freshman football players. 4.25 speaks for itself. He's a world-class sprinter, but he handles it. He runs with it. He cuts with it. A lot of people are just sprinters. He's not.
If he doesn't stumble on that 57-yard pass play, he dances into the end zone. He's gone.
Well, I think the defender, Bubba McDowell, thought he was. He stayed on the ground.
Darrell Spencer on the far side and Randall Hill on the near. And they're up around the 10-yard line because Hackett's going to be kicking the ball into the wind.
Hackett has not had a lot of success kicking the ball deep.
Well, what the Irish can't afford is any big gaps out there where one of those speedy running backs can filter through and turn it into a big gainer.
The middle return is the most dangerous because it happens the quickest.
Here's a run-up in the kick. It'll come down to the near side. Randall Hill will take it at the 14. Cuts across, gets to the 15, turns it up the middle, 20. Starts to make a cut, slips and falls at the 24-yard line. And it'll be first down and 10. They'll mark it at the 23-yard line. First down and 10 for Miami of Florida. Ismail's 2 catches, 79 yards. 1 for 22, 1 for 57. So Raghib the Rocket has made his presence felt here in the first half.
Can you imagine, too, starting as a freshman, he's got 3 big years in front of him after this one.
So the Irish go slot right. Make that Miami slot right with the ball at the 23. The slot man in motion to the near side. It's Andre Brown. Play action fake. Deep Walsh, far side, wide open. Chudzinski, 30, 35, gets to the 40, and gets block tackled down at the 41-yard line by Michael Stonebreaker. And somebody forgot to pick up the tight end because he just picked up 18 yards to the 41-yard line.
And it's the Irish playing zone on the first down. It's Miami passing on that first down.
So it'll be first down and 10 for the Hurricanes at the 41. 7 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the first half. Game deadlock, check that, make it Notre Dame 14 and Miami 7. 5 in a row now since the interception for Steve Walsh. So he's on a roll. He's got a split end right, a flanker left, hands the ball off to Cleveland Gary, and the big guy burrows his way up to about the 44-yard line before the Irish defense gangs up at him there. Wes Pritchett there for one, the linebacker, and several others. Very bottom of the pile, you're going to have Jeff Alm. So a gain on the play of about 3. It'll be second down and 7 with a ball at the 44-yard line. And Frank Stams will enter the ball game now for Notre Dame. 44. Stams comes in. And linebackers coming out. That's Scott Kolakowski. Backs are split on second down and 7. Flanker left, split end right. Walsh under no pressure now. Dumps the ball off. Gary at the 45. 50. Turns to the field. Notre Dame territory at the 45. And is finally knocked down at the 42-yard line of the Irish. And it'll be another Miami of Florida first down.
What great presence of mind Steve Walsh has. He went back, and it wasn't the intended receiver that he hit, but it was an open man, and it was only a 3 or 4 yard throw. That's okay. He wasn't greedy a bit. Let's take what we got, and that's why he's so poised.
Well, Cleveland Gary, for a running back, Tom Pagna, averages 14 yards a catch. Now, that's a lot for a running back.
Yes. I think Kevin Mack, he's of the Kevin Mack build.
And he just got 14 on that play. First down and 10. They're at Notre Dame's 43-yard line. And Walsh, play action fake, back to throw. A lobber to Conley. He's going to be picked off. It's Carroll at the 50. Carroll to the 40. Carroll to the 30. Carroll to the 20. He's got to beat Walsh. He's at the 10. 5. Touchdown Irish. Pat Carroll picks it off and scores a touchdown on a floater by Walsh, intended for Leonard Conley. The pass was tipped. And Carroll comes up with a big play. The third
on. Steve Walsh felt a little pressure. He laid a lob up over the one man that was free. And by doing that, it took too much time to come down. Gravity didn't work for him. And the Notre Dame defender picked it off in midair.
So the Irish lead it by a score of 20-7 with 5:42 left to go. And Reggie Ho will try to make it 21. The snap, the spot down, the kick is up, and it's good. And it is now Notre Dame 21 and Miami of Florida 7 with 5:42 left to play in the first half. But this one is not over by a long shot. The Irish came up with 2 touchdowns and 1 minute and 52 seconds left.
I don't believe it was tipped on the replay, Tony. I thought he just lopped it up there.
Well, it was a rainbow, and Terrell played the ball and not the man. So the junior safety from St. Petersburg, Florida, a 6 foot 195 pounder, placed down the right sideline with a thrill of his life. In other games this afternoon, it is 21-14 Florida State over East Carolina in the second. Nebraska 35-0 over Oklahoma State in the third. Fourth quarter, Georgia Tech 31-0 over South Carolina. Oklahoma 35-0 over Kansas in the second. Auburn 21-0 over Akron in the second. Wyoming 35-7 over New Mexico at the half. 17-3 Arkansas over Texas in the third. Indiana 19, Minnesota 7 in the third. And it's Vanderbilt 17, Florida 9 in the fourth quarter of play. A major upset in the making there. Kick by Hackett. It'll float down. It'll be taken on the run. Hill says, I want it. Takes it at the 18. 20. Cuts across field. 25. Tries to go to the outside. Turns it at the 30. To the 35. And up at about the 40-yard line. Fumbled on the play. The ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Miami of Florida's ball at about the 38-yard line. Irish are going to have to do a better job on kick coverage, especially when that kick comes down short as it did, Tom Bagna.
Well, it's really funny to me that Miami has never returned it where they caught it. They always run across the field, which really violates the principle.
First down and 10, Miami of Florida at the 39-yard line. 5.5 to go in the first half. Andre Brown wide to the right. Dale Dawkins in the slot to the right side. Back to split handoff Cleveland Gary. Cleveland Gary trying to get to the outside. At the 40, hit by Frank Sands and company and dragged down. Frank Sands is just playing outstanding defense. Grabbed him around the shirt, dragged him down, but Cleveland Gary, I'll tell you, he can catch the football. He can run with power. He can run with speed. A little of both that time because he picks up a good 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
You mentioned Frank Stamps. Rarely do you see Frank on the ground. He always is warding blocks. He's always giving pursuit. 6'4", 245, and can move it.
2nd down and 5 for Miami. Dawkins out to the right as the flanker. They'll go with Gary in a slot to the left, and Andre Brown as the wideout. So 3 receivers ready to go for Miami of Florida. Steve Walsh dropping back to throw. Set, looks to the left, fires the pass. Gary's got it. Gary at the 45-yard line. He stopped there at the 45, and it'll be another first down for Miami of Florida.
There's a 10-man front that the pros call Sticky Sam. Everybody comes up on the line of scrimmage. There's one deep safety. What they try to do is force you into audibleizing, into some play to beat Sticky Sam. It's tough to do. And then they'll back off and play zone. That's exactly what the Irish did, but Steve Walsh was up to it, hit it for a 10-yard gain and a first down.
First down and 10, the ball marked at the 46 of Notre Dame. 11 out of 18, 164 yards, intercepted twice. That's the numbers for Steve Walsh. Hands it off to Conley on the draw. Conley to the outside. Breaks a couple of tackles. Fights his way inside the 40. Down to about the 38-yard line. And not too happy the fact that Conley broke the tackle is Frank Stamps. Stamps unhappy with himself, and he's unhappy with Wes Pritchett, too.
5'9", 170-pound Leonard Conley. I can see why they play him, Tony. He's a feisty devil. He's a little bit like Jamie Morris used to be. He can run with a football.
So Conley Gets him about almost 8 yards. Let's make it 7, second down and 3. Second down and 3. One running back slot left wide out right here. The pass at the near side. The pass is caught by Andre Brown, and Todd Light sticks him at the 30-yard line, making the 29, but not in time, and it's a first down. 9-yard pickup on the play, and Miami's got a first down at the Irish 29-yard line.
Steve Walsh does not drill the ball. A lot of passers drill the sideline. That ball hangs in the air a little bit, and it takes time to get there. That's the one flaw in his throwing that I see.
Talking about Leonard Conley, he runs about a 4.65 40. Andre Brown wide to the right. Gary in a slot to the right side. Dawkins flank to the left. Conley the lone running back. The tight end Chudzinski's on the left side. Notre Dame 21, Miami 7. Walsh back to throw. Man wide open, and it's incomplete. Cleveland Gary got away from Pat Terrell, and I'll tell you, Pat Terrell has got to be thankful that Walsh had too much arm on it because that was a touchdown.
Steve Walsh knew exactly what was happening. He was going to get blitzed. He knew that. He had to unload it quicker than he wanted to. Had a man wide open. That's the chance, and that's the risk you take when you go into man-to-man coverage.
Miami's quarterbacks, and you got to go back to Jim Kelly, maybe even before that, have always been very adept at picking up the blitz and burning you with it. Koshar was great at it. Testaverde was very good at it. Jim Kelly was good at it. Second down and 10. Miami at the Notre Dame 29. Putbacks wide out both sides. Walsh back to throw. All kinds of time. Fires a pass. Pass is incomplete. Was out of bounds on the near side. Stan Spagala was covering Randall Hill on the play. And Walsh got a big push there from Chris Zorich, the nose tackle.
Well, I like what the Irish are doing defensively. They're really mixing it up. That time they were man again underneath and two deep safety to back up the man coverage underneath. The time before they were in a blitz. The time before that a zone. So they're really giving it a mix.
Irish send another defensive back in there. Juan Francisco's in there as Zorich comes out. Hill to the right. Andre Brown wide to the left. On a wing to the right side is Leonard Conley. One running back, that's Cleveland Gary. And Walsh back to throw. Sets everybody out. Walsh under pressure. Fires near side. Cleveland Gary's got it. Breaks one tackle. Can't get away from the other. And he's dropped at the 24-yard line. He will be short of the first down. And we got an Irish player shaking up back there at about the 48-yard line. Short of a first down by about 5 yards.
Frank Stamms is the one that's down.
5 catches this afternoon for Cleveland Gary, and Frank Stamms shaking up on the play. He'll come off running off the field under his own power. We're going to pause briefly here for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. Fourth down coming up. The Irish send in a couple of linebackers, Pritchett. Well, and they send in their nose tackle, Zorich.
Big down here, Tony.
Fourth down and about 4 to go for a first down. The ball at the Irish 24. They've got to get it down to about the 19-yard line. And a timeout's going to be called by Miami of Florida. With a score, 21-7 Irish. Timeout now this for Keebler.
Which way to South Bend, little Keebler?
Icebox Ike, the enormous tackle. You're playing against Notre Dame.
I'm gonna eat 'em up.
Gracious, eat these instead.
Potato skins? Skins and all. Terrific.
Potato skin snack chips have big potato appeal.
I like big.
Still gonna play Notre Dame?
Nope, gonna stay here and watch the game on TV. Potato skin Keebler, big potato appeal.
Saved by the skin of the potato.
At Sears, you get your money's worth and more. The promise that we keep is right above the door. Satisfaction guaranteed, it's what you're looking for.
12,000 trucks, 15,000 trained technicians on the move all over the country, including most evenings and Saturdays. It's America's largest service and delivery fleet.
Sears, your money's worth and a whole lot more.
Hello, fans, and welcome to Great Football Upsets. My guest is Coach Steve Turner. Coach, what was your biggest upset?
Had to be the 81 playoffs, Bob. I ate a pepperoni pizza before the game. Did I get heartburn?
How did you get back in the action?
I took Pepto-Bismol. It's got a remarkable coating action. As it coats, it soothes. Thanks to Pepto-Bismol, we scored a big victory.
Coach, any last words for our listeners?
Sure, Pepto-Bismol. For heartburn, upset stomach, and diarrhea, the one that coats is the only one you need.
Thanks, Coach. Tune in again for more football upsets.
Coach, did you lose that game? Yeah, but we beat the point spread.
Use only as directed.
Tony Roberts along with Tom Pagnon, our Mutual Sports crew. As Notre Dame is out in front of top-ranked Miami of Florida, 21-7. But the Hurricanes have reached the Irish 23.5-yard line, and they now face fourth down. Fourth down at about 4.5 yards to go for a first down. Out of the huddle they come. Wide to the right, Randall Hill. Flat to the right. They've got Andre Brown. Tight end is to the left. Back. They're in a pro set. 3 wide receivers out to the right. Here's the pass. Conley at the 20, to the 15, down to the 10. He's at the 5. He scores. Touchdown. Tom Pagna, you called the play. Pagna said during the timeout that they would put 3 wide receivers out to the right. The 2 wide receivers, Brown and Hill, would drive the Notre Dame defenders deep, and then Conley, who was lined up as a right halfback, came out of the backfield, cut across almost like a drag pattern to the far side, took the pass on the run, and it was an easy touchdown.
Tony, I had a little help on the play. When just before they called timeout, they lined up in trips. Then he called timeout, went to the sideline. They just changed it a little bit. They kept the man in at right halfback and sliced him out, trying to pick up 4 yards. It wound up being more than that.
They just disguised the obvious. Travis Huerta will try with a point after. And that would put Miami of Florida within 7. The kick is up, and a penalty marker on the play. The Irish were offside. The kick is good. So that's going to make it 21-14. And they're not going to take that point off the board. Penalty against the Irish. So that's going to make it 21-14, and that's where it's going to stand with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to go. So Walsh to Conley works for the touchdown. With 2:16 left, as Miami of Florida comes right back to answer Pat Turl's about 65-yard return. We'll get the exact yardage at the half. For a score, he picked off the Steve Walsh pass and returned it down the right sideline for a touchdown. But the Miami of Florida Hurricanes come right back with a 61-yard drive and 8 plays. They made it look so very easy, and they've cut it now to 21-14. Walsh, up to now, 14 out of 23, 22 yards, 2 touchdowns, intercepted twice.
There's 2 minutes and 16 seconds left before the half, Tony. I feel like we played a ball game. There's been enough excitement to fill a ball game.
He's having what you'd call remember Dan Fouts when he played for San Diego? This is a Dan Fouts day. You get 200 the first half, you get another 200 the second half.
Yeah, they were both great quarterbacks.
Well, Ragib is back there. He's a game breaker. You got Braxton, it's Juan Francisco on the far side, and Anthony Johnson on the near. And of course, the 5-yard penalty is going to bring the ball up to the 40-yard line. After the PAT attempt, the Irish were offside. Well, this is the way it used to be in the good old days, Coach.
40-yard line.
You kicked it off from the 40-yard line.
That's when all kickers were short-legged. Couldn't quite get it there. Then they got better.
21-14, Notre Dame. And the run-up and the kick by Benish. End over ender coming down. Ishmael backs up, and he's not going to run this one out. Lets it go over his head out of the end zone, and they'll take it out at the 20-yard line. And it'll be first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. So now let's see what the Irish can do here. And, of course, Miami of Florida would like to see the Irish turn the ball over. We've got 2:16 left to go. And as I told you, when they went out in front by a score of 21-7, this one is not over by a long shot, not the way they can throw the football.
Lou Holtz knew they'd have to play almost a perfect game, and they're done so far.
Eiler's out to the right. Got a wide out to the left. You got an I tandem. Tony Rice at quarterback. 4-man front for Miami of Florida. Linebackers, 3 of them up close. Long count by Rice. Takes the snap, hand off, and Mark Green never got out of the starting blocks. Bill Hawkins, a 6'6", 260-pounder, a junior out of Hollywood, Florida, hit him and dropped him for -5. Green never got out of the starting blocks. He never took a step.
You know, Tony, for the Irish to play their game, they have to move the ball on the ground. They haven't done that. The plays that they've scored on were pass plays. So contrary. But that's what you have to do.
Ishmael, wide to the left. Eiler's out to the right. I tandem. Hand off. The ball going to Brooks. Brooks up to about the 15 to 17. And everybody who's got a white jersey on from Miami of Florida, who's up close around the line of scrimmage, gets in on the action after a gain of a couple of 3 at the most. And it's going to be third down and long, about a dozen to go. We're also going to have a timeout called here. So it'll be 12 yards to go for the first down. The Irish called a timeout. And they certainly can't afford a miscue here with the ball at the 18-yard line, the third down and long. All right, Coach, what are you going to call here? Let's put you to work.
Well, Tony Rice is over on the sideline talking to Lou Holtz, and you got 3rd and 12. It's an obvious passing down. I don't think you want to do anything risky. I would probably swing the guy out of the backfield and hit him with the lead blocker as they've done and let him do the running, or maybe fake to the I-back and then hit him over the middle as they've done in the past where they drive other receivers off. Nothing dangerous, though. If it weren't there, throw it away and punt.
All right, Notre Dame is 6 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, one of the reasons they're out in front, and 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions. All right, Notre Dame is 6 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, one of the reasons they're out in front, and 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions. Now, Ismail's in there. Ricky Waters is also in the game, so you got a couple of game breakers in there. The ball can't be delivered to them by Tony Rice if the Irish throw the football. Little huddle on the far side with some of the defensive people, Bernard Clark and some of the others from Miami of Florida. Slot right, the Irish go slot right. They got 3 wide receivers to the right. Brooks, Waters, Ismail. Rice running to the right side, looking, may run it. Gets up to the 15, gets up to the 20-yard line, gets hit and gets knocked down at about the 23. So the Irish elected to go for the option right. Tony Rice running the football, and now with 4th down coming up, and Notre Dame forced to punt. And you're going to have Miami calling a timeout here. The Hurricanes are really going to put the pressure on the Irish defense.
That was pure run all the way, Tony. Yep. I think Lou Holtz made up the decision. Let's just play it safe here. If we can get it, fine. If we can't, we'll kick and get ourselves some field position, go in at the half ahead.
Notre Dame now with 4th down and just about 6.5 yards to go for a first down. 1 minute and 16 seconds left to play in the first half. And Notre Dame out in front 21-14. Rice has topped the Irish rushers. 9 carries, 38 yards, and of course, the big one was a 7-yard touchdown run that put Notre Dame out in front. Notre Dame has not trailed. They were tied 7-7. They went out in front with a couple of touchdowns in 1 minute and 32 second span. And now Miami of Florida answered that, and they're going to get the football once again. In timeouts, Miami of Florida has no timeouts remaining. The Irish have 2. Now they're going to put 10 men up on the line of scrimmage, Tom Pagna, to put the rush on Jim Sexton. They've got 1 man back, that's Darrell Spencer, and he's standing at the 49-yard line of Miami. Now, the Hurricanes believe they're going to get excellent field position here. And if Sexton's going to come up with a booming kick, this is the time he's got to do it.
The only thing he's got to worry about is he's going to kick from the right hash mark. For a right footer, the one scare is a shank, so you want to aim towards the middle of the field.
And the man who could be giving him the most trouble is Kenny Berry, a junior from Pahokee, Florida, because he's outside, lined up outside on the left. Then they got a penalty marker, Bernard Clark. Moved offside. Bernard Clark, the linebacker. Second, not Bernard Clark, but one of the, it was Doyle Aaron, a wide receiver, who was in the middle there, made contact. So that'll give the Irish 5 more yards.
Notre Dame baited them with their cadence. When I say bait, you're not allowed to jerk anything on your body, but you can jerk your voice. And in so doing, Miami jumped off sides at the cheap 5 yards.
So the ball will go now up to about the 28.5-yard line with 4th down. Grunhardt, who was snapping back, got called to the sideline by Coach Lou Holtz. It was a very quick and brief conversation. He's back, and he's going to snap it back now. Sexton up at the 16-yard line, and Spencer back at the Miami 44. Helmet high snap and gets the time and sails the ball upfield. Bearcat signal for by Spencer as he falls down and makes the reception at the 46-yard line. Made the catch at the 46. It'll be a 32-yard punt, no return, and it'll be 1st down and 10 for Miami of Florida. Right now, they are 54 yards away from tying it up at 21.
Tony, with 1 minute and 9 seconds on the clock, you know he's going into his 2 minutes. They may not even huddle, but you're going to see the Irish in double coverage and 6 defensive backs.
Randall Hill wide to the right. Cleveland Gary in a slot to the right. Andre Brown out to the left. The tight end Jasinski on the left side. Screen. Almost picked off by the Irish. It was supposed to be a slanted, I believe, and Todd Light almost picked it off at the 50-yard line. Cleveland Gary may have been the intended receiver, never turned around.
He probably didn't hear the audible because of the noise. I was wrong. They were not in a dime or a nickel backfield. They were in conventional defense. That's right. He was going to try to hit him on the quick look in. Cleveland Gary's man was playing him to the outside. It had been a perfect play, but somehow did not hear that audible.
That stops the clock, however. They only used about 10 seconds on that play. 106 showing. So it'll be second down and 10 for Miami at their own 46, trailing 21-14. Walsh dropping back to throw. Sets, looks, fires to the near side. Pass caught and pushed out of bounds to the receiver. And it is Randall Hill. Stance Magala pushed him out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock. They got about 8 or 9 on that play. They're going to mark it at the 46-yard line of the Irish. Hash mark near side. It'll be third down with about 1.5 yards to go for a first down.
Obviously, they want to stop the clock, so they'll hit the outs. They don't want anything over the middle. And in order to take the outs away, you have to play zone underneath or rotate to one side or the other. Now, you don't want to get greedy because he'll fake the out and hit it on the up.
Okay, that play took about 5 seconds. A minute left to go. Handoff. The ball going to Gary. Gary to the 40. Gary fights his way down to the 37-yard line. Cleveland Gary finally stopped out there by Chris Zorich. So Gary now gets him a first down. That's 12 first downs for Miami of Florida, 7 for the Irish.
And Miami, smart, before the clock's run off a second, are lined up on the ball, ready for it to be marked without wasting a timeout.
50 seconds left to go in the first half. And Walsh back to throw, sets, looks, fires the pass. Pass knocked down, in and out of the hands of Jeff Halm. Halm was so close to quarterback Steve Walsh that it was almost impossible for him to catch the ball, although, as Coach Packness said, Steve Walsh does not really drill the football. He does not throw the ball with any kind of velocity. That play took 5 seconds. 45 left to go in the first half with a ball at the Irish 37-yard line.
Steve Walsh must see something on the left side, which is his short side of the field, because he's worked it all the way this drive.
Hill wide to the right, Gary out to the right side. Got Dale Dawkins out to the left as the flanker. One running back, it is Conley. Walsh waiting for a center. Bobby Garcia, and now the official blows the whistle. Clock shows 45 seconds in a second down and 10 for Miami at the Irish 37. Notre Dame nursing a 7-point advantage. But Miami, with their great passing game, always a threat. Walsh takes the snap, drops back to throw, under pressure, fires the pass, far side, and Chudzinski is hit and he fumbled the ball. They're going to call it no completion. Chudzinski got nailed by Stonebreaker, who almost broke him in two, and Chudzinski is hurt on the play.
If they elect to kick a field goal and stall this drive, they'll have a 15-mile-an-hour wind behind their back. That's if they kick. They still have 38 seconds on the clock. You can run off 4 or 5 plays if you do it right.
Chudzinski got hit, and hit hard. And normally, he's a very sure-handed receiver. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. Michael Stonebreaker, 6'1", 228 pounds, and he leveled him.
And it was a good call. I know the crowd reaction was hometownish, but it was a good call. He never was in control of the football.
Chudzinski came into the game with 13 receptions. He's averaged a little better than 13 yards a catch.
I would not be surprised, Tony, if he laid it up deep, because they've been playing the short stuff tough.
Dawkins wide to the right, slot right, Hill wide to the left, and Walsh now with time, looking, firing over the middle. Pass is caught. Down around the 15-yard line. Andre Brown makes the grab. Andre Brown made the grab, and it's going to be a first down in the middle of the field for Miami of Florida, with the clock showing 31 seconds left to play.
And that team is really well drilled. They rush down the field. They're lined up over the ball. They haven't marked the ball yet. Clock is not running.
22 yards on a pass play to Andre Brown. At the Irish 15, Walsh back to throw, sets, looks, lofts one, Cleveland Gary, touchdown. Cleveland Gary took the ball at the 1-yard line, and all of a sudden it's now a 21-20 game.
Tony, that Steve Walsh is very, very, very impressive. They did not huddle on that drive the last 3 plays. Everything was done at the line or from memory, calling 3 plays all together in sequence from the huddle.
Miami of Florida went upfield 54 yards in 7 plays that took 55 seconds. Want to talk about efficiency? Carlos Huerta to tie it up. So the Irish 2-touchdown lead vanishes. Spot, muffed it, kicked it up, and it's good. The snap was muffed by the holder, Kirk Skinner, or Sandifer, and Huerta, who started to move his right foot forward, had to stop and kind of reload all over again, and still made it to make it 21-all.
21 seconds on the clock. We thought at first it was going to be a defensive battle, and both defenses have played well. But both teams have thrown the ball with great success and gotten on the board.
We've had 5 touchdowns in the second quarter after the Irish came into the second quarter leading by a score of 7-0. So now it's up to Raghib Ismail to get the momentum back for Notre Dame. And the Irish have 21 seconds left. And the way that Bedish has been kicking off, he's been kicking the ball fairly deep in the end zone. Ismail may not be able to run it back. Walsh 17 of 29, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's been intercepted twice.
It's interesting, too. They were down 21-7, and he put 2 drives together to tie this up.
This is one very good offensive football team. And their defense ain't bad either, as they say.
As they say.
Here's a knuckler bouncing down. Anthony Johnson wide enough, going to let it run out of bounds. It bounced out of bounds inside the 10 down around the 8-yard line. And so that's going to be a penalty now against Miami of Florida.
Ismail may get that opportunity to return one yet.
So no time runs off the clock since no one touched the football. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against Miami.
It's very unusual to see a ball squibbed, kicked that long, and not be recovered by an offensive person.
Well, Anthony Johnson had the chance, but he had great presence of mind to let the ball go out of bounds, which it did. So now Raghib Ismail will move up to the 5-yard line. Johnson and Juan Francisco move up to the 20-yard line. And obviously, Benish does not want to kick the ball to Ismail.
Boy, I think that's a high compliment. Here's a freshman, and they're kicking away from him. He's a great football player.
And you haven't even scratched the surface with this kid yet.
That's right.
The run-up and the kick by Benish. It's another knuckler. Bounces up, taken by one of the up people. That's going to be brought back to the 40, up to the 45-yard line, and up to about the 47 or 48-yard line. Clock stopped with 15 seconds left to play. And the man who picked the ball up was Don Grimm, the linebacker. Didn't do a bad job at that. He went straight ahead and took it as far as he could and brought it up to about the 46-yard line. Now, the Irish have 2 timeouts remaining. They have 15 seconds left of playing time in the first half with a game deadlocked at 21.
Tony, I don't even think they're going to use it all. I think they're going upstairs deep right now.
Well, you got Raghib out to the left. You got Waters out to the right. Back to throw. Graham's in the game. Graham with a shot pass. It's blocked. He gets it. He runs to the far side, and his pass was blocked right into his hands by Russell Maryland. 3 seconds left. 2 seconds, and the Irish, I believe, are going to let time run out, or are they? Clock stopped with 2 seconds remaining.
One more shot. The last time I saw a passer get his pass blocked and catch it, he threw it again, not knowing he couldn't throw 2 forwards, with Sandy Stevens some 30 years ago.
Well, the block pass turns out to be about a 2-yard gain, and that's going to leave it at 2nd down and 8. That is really immaterial. We've got time for one more play here. Now, Graham, 6'5", 228 pounds, a sophomore out of Wheaton, Illinois, has a very strong arm.
I don't believe that Miami, Graham is not that adept against the blitz, but Miami will not blitz him. They'll play a prevent defense, 2 seconds on the clock, and play for the long throw. I tell you, I'd like to see him cross him up, throw something under the long throw, and let him run. Maybe take a chance of breaking it away. They have that kind of talent.
Well, you got Waters flanked to the right, Ismail wide to the left. Derek Brown, the tight end, is to the right side, and Graham is back to throw. Sets, looks, rolls to the left, looking, going to throw it, pass to the near side, Green. Green at the 40, Green down to the 35-yard line. As he tries to make his cut, stumbles at about the 32, and that's going to be the end of the first half. He picked up 21 yards on the play. But after one half, it's deadlocked. The score is tied at 21, Notre Dame and Miami. Tony Rice, 9 carries, 39 yards. He's the leading Irish rusher. You've got Conley, 7 carries for 28 yards. He leads Miami of Florida. And, of course, we told you about Walsh and his 248 yards throwing. Cleveland Gary, 6 catches, 79 yards. Ismail, 2 catches, 79 yards. The longest, of course, the 57-yarder, the one he stumbled after outrunning Bubba McDowell down deep. But that was a 57-yard pass play, and they went on to score after that. Coming up, the second half kickoff at first. This time out for Keebler.
Hi, Mr. Keebler.
We're cheerleaders.
Cheer, cheer for all.
You don't sound cheery.
It's our tortilla chips. They're a little heavy.
Try our light and crispy Sancheros.
Sancheros?
Tortilla chips made by Pequeños Quiberos, elfin cousins from the southwestern branch of the tree.
Let's hear it for Sancheros. Sancheros, Sancheros. Light and crispy because they're made by Pequeños Quiberos. Yay!
I fear for the opposition.
A healthy budget for research and development is the mark of a company with a healthy future. A company driven by technology. A company determined to give its customers products with the best features that science and engineering can deliver. This past year, the largest budget for research and development in all of American industry belonged to General Motors. GM invested more than $4 billion in its future as a company and in your future as a GM customer. That's the mark of General Motors. The mark of excellence.
Tough winter cold. Here's how New England fishermen keep going.
When I catch a cold, it's a tough one, and the only thing that seems to help me is Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I get aches and pains, runny nose, nasally, and Alka-Seltzer Plus works every time.
When I get a cold, my head feels like it's 3 feet thick. Alka-Seltzer Plus helps break through, helps me get back on my feet.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds. Use as directed.
In a word, it works.
Heisman Trophy winner, the one and only Johnny Ladner. John.
Tony, it's really wonderful to be here. I'm really thrilled, honest to goodness. You know, when you win the Heisman, that is a big thrill. But to be here at this particular game against Miami, the excitement of the game, and getting that plaque, I don't even think it looks like me. I don't know who did that. Artwork, super artwork. But just great. I'm still hyper.
I just asked John, kiddingly, of course, who is honored by having his picture put on the cover of this week's program, who that guy was.
You know, and today was the first day I saw it. You know, and I said, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong in Denmark somewhere. I never looked that good in all my life.
Well, John, I want to tell you something. I was a contemporary player. I played the same years. We did some time together in the Air Force. And I remember a lot of the things that were said about you. They were all good, but perhaps the best testimony to you as a player were your teammates. And I was in summer camp with a lot of them. They said he's a real team player. That's a great compliment.
We had a great team, a great bunch of guys. Even Lay thought we had a good team. I mean, he never told us that. But, you know, we were the youngsters. You know, Lay had all the old guys after the war and this and that. And we were probably the first team, since he was coaching in the early 40s, to be 18 years old.
You going to let him do play-by-play here, Tony? They're about ready for the kickoff.
No, I don't want a Heisman Trophy for winner replacing me, okay? If you want to let him do color, that's up to you.
You want to do a play?
Oh, no. Listen, that's not my business. I'll just sit up here and watch you two go at it.
Well, we're proud to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, the Irish are going to receive, which means that they will get the ball with a wind at their back. Now, obviously, they cannot fall behind Miami of Florida because that passing game is just too sophisticated, and if the Irish have to play catch-up, it could be a long afternoon. Finish with a kick. It'll come down. It's going to come down short, and Ishmael's going to take it. Drifts back to the 2, comes back to the 5, gets to the 10, looks for an opening up the side to the 30, up to the 30-yard line, and hit it about the 30-yard line. Nice run back by Ragib Ishmael. They'll probably mark it right around the 29, and it'll be first down and 10 for Notre Dame at about the, right around the 29-yard line. I'm going to say knee touch the ground at the 28. Tom Pagna, they're going to be moving upfield. They won't be looking into the sun. The wind, however, is going to be in their faces. In the fourth quarter, they'll have the wind at their backs, but if they look over their shoulders, old Saul's going to be up there.
That's true. Incidentally, that Ishmael on that return made a couple of people miss. That's what I mean about a blazing sprinter that still has the other attributes.
So there's first down and 10 for the Irish. They've got the ball at their own 29-yard line. Slot right, I tandem. Here's Tony Rice handing off. Green going to the outside. Penalty marker on the play, gets up to the 30-yard line, and that's as far as he will go. And the man who made the tackle on the play for Miami of Florida comes up limping, and that's Greg Mark, the 238-pound junior from Pensauken, New Jersey.
I think Miami was called for offside.
Shane Curry on the right side. That's the second time for him today. Gain on the play of about a yard. Well, I'll tell you, it is tough to run outside on this group.
Well, we're looking at so much team speed, both offensively and defensively. And the Miami Hurricanes, I know this, would love nothing better. And we've seen it stretch the play out, let the strong safety or the free safety come up and fill.
So a gain of 5, it'll be second down, and take that first down and 5 after the 5-yard penalty. They go slot right. Eiler's in the slot. Ishmael wide out. Braxton Banks gets the handoff, and there's no place for him to go. He ran right into Rod Carter and company, and they spun him around and dropped him. Maybe even lost a yard or so on the play, back to about the 33-yard line.
Well, it isn't often, Tony, that you see the option run into a slot, and the end man on the line for Miami is Greg Mark come across, get a piece of the fullback with one arm and a piece of the quarterback with the other. That's a big wingspan.
Certainly is, Tom. But the quickness really shows out there. The line play and linebackers play.
It'll be second down and about 6 to go for the first down. Wide outs both sides. Eye tandem. Here's Tony Rice. Deep drop. Looking all kinds of time he run. Get to the 30. Get to the 35. And fights his way up to about the 39-yard line. Going to be just a little bit short, I believe, of a first down. They'll mark it right around the 39. He has to get to about the 39.5-yard line to get the first down. So it's going to be third down and less than a yard to go for a first down. They're going to call for a measurement.
Tony Rice is an exciting back. We've said it many times. He's very quick-footed, right there improvised, and his speed may have picked up this first down.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be great, wouldn't it, Tom and Tony, if Notre Dame could maintain possession, keep the ball for about 10 minutes. This would be a big first down if we could get it. Yeah, a big first down.
So it is a first down by the tip of the football. And so the Irish will have it first down and 10 at the 39. A nice bit of ad-libbing by quarterback Tony Rice. 198 pounds, a junior out of Woodruff, South Carolina. He sends Ishmael wide to the left. He's got Eilers in the slot to the left side. Derek Brown, the tight end, is right. Mike Held is the center. Ball handed off to Braxton Banks. Can't go inside. Tries to move to the left and get a little running room there, and he may get up to about the 41-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be second down and about 8. And Notre Dame cannot play the second half, gentlemen, going second down and 8.
Well, they made a couple of attempts at running the option with a broken backfield. That is, featuring the fullback thrust, quarterback keeping the ball, maybe the pitch out, and maybe keeping it up the field. But I don't think that'll get it against the Miami defense.
4-man front, 4-3-4 defensively. Slot left, Waters in the game, and a slot to the left side. Here's the fake to the fullback. Here's Tony Rice looking, throwing the lob on the far side. The pass is going to be intercepted. It got picked off by Bubba McDowell. And Ragib Ishmael did a push job on the quarterback, and that was Donald Ellis of Miami of Florida. I don't know what that was all about, but he never saw the throw coming.
That was the option setting up. No wonder they ran two options. They were setting up the option pass where he fakes to Braxton Banks, gets some depth. Really the first big mistake that Tony Rice has made, other than that accidental fumble exchange from the center.
So now Miami with a ball at the 41-yard line, and the Hurricanes hoping to get out in front for the first time. They hand the ball off to Leonard Conley. He's not going anywhere. Conley fumbled the ball, scrambled for the ball. Who's got it? The Irish say they've got it at the 37-yard line. It is Notre Dame's ball at the Miami 37-yard line. And Frank Stams came up with a big play.
It was certainly a Notre Dame break, but boy, you can see all the tacklers around that ball carrier.
You're right, John. The Notre Dame defense is loaded with
it was swarming all over them.
Yeah.
I love that total defense.
All right, gentlemen, temper your enthusiasm, because on the 2 previous turnovers, Notre Dame didn't do anything with it.
Well, they did not up here in the booth.
They did not capitalize the first 2 times. Here's the fake to the fullback. Rice runs the out to the 35-30 down to the 25-yard line. And a first down. He picked up about 11 yards on the scamper to the right side. So Tony Rice with a first down. They'll mark it at the 25-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Irish. And now Mark Green comes out, and Tony Brooks enters the game as the tailback. Rice now has carried the ball 11 times for a total of 57 yards. He's got Ishmael wide to the left. Eilers in the slot to the left side. For the first time, check that. We got Derek Brown as the tight end. He's off to the right side. Give fake to the fullback, and Tony Rice not able to get out to the starting block. Gets smothered back at about the 27. He'll lose a couple of yards on the play. Rice unable to go anywhere because the linebacker came in, or Shane Curry, the sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio, nailed him in his tracks, and they'll mark it at the 26. Loss of 1, it'll be second and 11. This time it's Ishmael to the right and Eilers to the left. Green in the backfield along with Braxton Banks. They're split. Tight end Derek Brown is to the right. Rice on the draw to Banks. Breaks 1 tackle and gets down to about the 25-yard line, and that's about as far as he's going to go. Gained about a yard on the play, and that's it. It'll be third down and about 10.
Miami employs a 4-down lineman and 3 linebackers, and when they think it's an option play, and Notre Dame has been running that option into a slot or a split end side, the down lineman on the end of the line has got to make the play on the quarterback, and so far they're taking away, except for the one time that Tony Rice got outside, they're taking away the quarterback keep portion of it.
On 3rd down and 10 at the 25, Eilers is flanked to the left, and Ismail goes wide to the right. Brooks and Banks, the split backs for Tony Rice. Drops back to throw, rushes on, looks at he's going to get hit, and he is nailed for a loss at about the 27-yard line.
That's one of the few times, Tony, I've seen Miami go into a blitz situation where they were man-to-man and dogged the outside linebackers and brought one of the interior people.
So a loss of a couple on the play, 4th down and a dozen, and that is going to send the call in for the kicking unit. So it's going to be Hackett to kick, and the kick will come from the middle of the field. The ball to be marked down at the 33-yard line, which means it will be a 43-yard kick.
A little bit of wind in his face.
43-yard kick for Reggie Ho. Here comes the snap. Spot down. The kick is up. It is blocked. Loose ball far side. Kicked and goes out of bounds, and it's going to be, it was Bubba McDowell who blocked it. And the man who kicked it out of bounds for Miami of Florida was number 39, and that was Bobby Harden, the strong safety. And so Miami of Florida gets the ball at about the 39-yard line of the Hurricanes.
Got to give credit to Miami on one thing. They really don't fold under bad breaks. They had a couple of breaks happen to them very quickly there. Don't lose their composure.
And that's why they're national champs, Tom. You know, they get it in their blood. They can do anything. And it's going to take a great effort by Notre Dame to beat this pro team out there.
10:06 showing on the clock. We've got a timeout. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual.
This is a great
I'm Tony Roberts along with Tom Pack. The game deadlocked at 21. 10:06 showing on the clock. We're in the 3rd quarter, and Miami of Florida has just blocked the field goal attempt by Hackett. McDowell made the block, and the ball got kicked out of bounds by Bobby Harden over on the 40-yard line. Other games this afternoon, 28-0. Auburn out in front of Akron in the 3rd. Final, Rutgers knocks off Boston College 17-6. Rutgers had a very important game coming up toward the end of the year against the now unbeaten West Virginia. That game will be played in the Meadowland. BYU 28, Texas Christian 3 in the 3rd. 10-3 UCLA over California in the 1st. Florida State 38-14 over East Carolina in the 4th quarter. Georgia Tech shocked South Carolina 34-0 in the 4th. 33-7 Indiana walloping Minnesota in the 4th quarter. It is Iowa 7, Michigan 3, that game in the 2nd quarter. Colorado leading Kansas by a score of Colorado beat Kansas by a score of 21-9. That's the final. Illinois over Wisconsin 34-6 the final. Long season for the Badgers. Maryland, the Maryland got beat by Wake Forest 27-24. That's the final. Michigan State beat Northwestern by a score of 36-3. And we got Iowa State out in front of Missouri 21-3 in the 3rd. Nebraska 49, Oklahoma 21 in the 3rd. North Carolina State 48, North Carolina 3, a final score. Here it is, 1st down from the 40, and Walsh back to throw. Out to Cleveland Gary, and Gary at the 45 will pick up about 5 yards. He gets wrestled out of bounds. He has now caught 7 passes on the afternoon, and somebody's going to have to start wearing his number, or he's going to set a record.
Well, Steve Walsh is just so poised. I've said that over and over, and it is true, but the thing that is remarkable about him, he never seems to get flustered. And they have kind of almost a pro attitude. When he doesn't have to hustle, he doesn't. He rests, he conserves it.
Gain of 5, it'll be 2nd down and 5. Crow set, slot right. Walsh has got his tight end, Chudzinski, on the left side. Here's the toss to Gary. Gary sweeping the right side. Can't go right, comes back left, finds a little opening, and fights his way to very close to 1st down yardage. It'll be a 1st down right around the midfield stripe for Miami of Florida. Talking about Gary, he's caught 7. In a game against Michigan, he had 9 receptions. That's a Miami school record for a running back. 162 receiving yards. That's the season high to date. So this young man can do it all.
You know, coming out of the backfield, you become a much more dangerous receiver than if you're a wide receiver, because you're usually pitted against a linebacker, and if it's man-to-man coverage, he can't stay with you step for step.
Gave you a bum steer. It wasn't a 1st down. It was inches short of a 1st down, so it's 3rd down inches. Now they go double tight end. Wingman right. Gary getting the call, and he's not going to get the first down. He got nailed.
Lost 3 yards.
Todd Light and Wes Pritchett. Wes Pritchett making the tackle for Notre Dame. He'll lose a couple of yards on the play, maybe 3, back to the 47-yard line, and that's going to set up 4th down and 3 to go for a first down, and Miami of Florida will have to punt the ball away.
Tony, that's a great illustration of why coaches are so reluctant to go wide on short yardage, because any kind of penetration kills you, and it did.
That's exactly right, Tom. Listen, I left you guys with the score 21-21 now. I want you to follow through. We're going to get a victory. If you don't, I'm going to come after you.
All right.
Thanks a lot for having me up here.
Check back next week when Air Force comes to town. Yep, they got the ball to the short back. They faked the punt, and it didn't work. Miami came up with a bit of trickery. They never got the ball to the punter. They went to the short back instead, and it didn't catch Notre Dame napping.
You know what that says to me, Tony, is it isn't so much it was a gamble, but I think that it says I've got a lot of confidence in my defense, Miami. We're going to try this thing.
Matt Britton, the linebacker, was the man who had the ball snapped to him, and Notre Dame gets a tremendous break here. The Irish defensively were alert. They stuffed the play, and the ball belongs to Notre Dame at the Miami 46-yard line. First down and 10 Irish. Wideouts both sides. I tandem. Fake to Tony Brooks. Back to throw. Rice going long for Ricky Waters. He's got him at the 5, and he's out of bounds at the 3. First down and goal to go Irish. Ricky Waters outran Bobby Harden, and Tony Rice put the ball right on the money.
When you're being single covered and you're a wideout, as Ricky Waters was, he went down the sideline, made a hard fake towards the post. The defender bought it. He cut towards the sideline. It's what they call a flag play, a perfect throw by Tony Rice after an eye-back fake.
First down and goal to go Irish. 43 yards in the play. Double tight end, wishbone backfield. Tony Rice will take the snap. Gets it. Gives it to Eilers. Eilers is down to about the 2. Touchdown! Pat Eilers for a score! And the Irish have regained the lead, 27-21. 46 yards in 2 plays.
Again, Tony, I want to point out that they threw the ball long to Ricky Waters on the first down. That's what we were talking about earlier, about doing the things that you normally don't do.
Reggie Hall will try for the point after. Graham is the holder. That's Pete Graham. 8 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Snap, spot, kick, up, good. Timeout in the field. It is 28-21. Notre Dame. Now this for Progresso Soups.
Match up your football tradition with the long tradition of Progresso's delicious family of soups. Bring a big container of Progresso to your next tailgate party. Hot and hearty Progresso soups are the ideal way to warm up before and after the game. Enjoy our hearty chicken and chicken noodle, packed with generous chunks of chicken, a garden full of vegetables, and sunny Italian flavor. So remember, next time you tailgate, there's no soup like Progresso.
I got a dream, it comes from the heart of the heartland. I can make my dream, take my dream, right from the heart of the heartland. I gonna reach for the best, got it all here in my hand. Wherever I go, gonna let them know I come right from the heart of the heartland. I got a dream, it comes right from the heart of the heartland.
Reach for the best. Old style beer. G. Heilemann Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
28-21, Notre Dame out in front of Miami of Florida. A ton of time left. Remember, the last 5 times that Miami of Florida has been down in the second half, they've come back to win.
That fake kick at midfield this early in the second half really surprised me. I don't know what he was planning on happening.
Yes, but if it worked, it's a great call.
I suppose.
Okay?
Yes.
But it didn't surprise Notre Dame.
That's the big thing.
That may have been the best pattern that Ricky Waters has ever run in his young wide receiver career.
And the best throw Tony Rice may have made.
He put that ball right on the money.
You were saying just last week when Pat Eilers lined up at halfback, do they ever let him run the ball? They did right after you said that.
They did right after he said that. Not only that, he had he had a pretty decent gain, and they let him run it again, and he ran in for a touchdown. Maybe they've tapped some unused talent here.
Perhaps.
Hackett will kick off. Now, Tom, you know all about the winds here at Notre Dame Stadium. If you look at the flags at the top of the stadium, it indicates the wind here in the third quarter is at the back of Miami of Florida.
That's not necessarily true on the field, Tony. That's high up, and you get a swirling sensation down on the bottom. One of the things that you do have at the opposite end is a tunnel. So even though the wind is at the back of Miami, there is a ground tunnel that brings a ground swell from the opposite end.
I would think the wind would go out the tunnel.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? Except the wind is too high to go out of the tunnel.
Hackett got her teed up. On the near side, Randall Hill. Over on the far side, Darrell Spencer. Irish back on top again by 7, and the ball off the tee. Leon Hart is going to be inducted into the Polish American Sports Hall of Fame tonight in Orchard Lake, Michigan. Notre Dame Heisman winner in 1949. Whitey Kurowski, St. Louis Cardinal third baseman in the 40s. Billy Packer, basketball analyst for CBS. Ex-Wake Forest Cager. They're going to be inducted too. Big night in Orchard. Short kick, Hill on the run, 25, cuts across the field, gets to the 30, and gets up to about the 32-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 at the 32-yard line for Miami of Florida. The Irish have been tied, but they have never trailed in this game, and they're out in front again, 28-21.
The Irish defense, I think, has been superb against the run. They really have. The one thing they haven't been able to do consistently is to force Steve Walsh to throw too quickly.
Andre Brown wide to the right. Dale Dawkins in the slot to the right side. Hand off to Cleveland Gary. Gary off the right side. He'll pick up about 2 or 3 to around the 35-yard line. Give him about 3. Miami of Florida has 47 yards on 20 rushes. But can they throw the football? Second down and 7 for the Hurricane. 36-game regular season winning streak on the line. And lifting off the field slightly is Barry Tanfill, the 250-pound junior guard out of Orland Park, Illinois.
They're taking an unusual amount of time in the huddle, and that usually says to me, pass.
And Andre Brown comes wide to the left. Dale Dawkins is in motion from slot left to the far side. From the I-tandem, play action fake, back to throw. Walsh over the middle, pass caught. Nice catch by Chudzinski. Leaping grab, not at the 47-yard line, and it's going to be a first down. First down at the Irish. They're going to mark it back at the 48. It'll be first down and 10 as Walsh goes to Chudzinski, the sophomore out of Toledo, Ohio. So the pickup is 17, and Miami's back in Notre Dame territory. And they will waste little time putting the ball in the air. We're at the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. 28-21 Irish. Handoff coming off the left side and looking for a little running room and getting down to the 45-yard line is Shannon Kroll. Kroll will pick up about 3. That'll leave it at second down and 7 for Miami.
Frank Stamps is just uncanny, Tony. That play was a counter play right to him. He was on the ground and was getting up off of it hurriedly, reached out a left paw and grabbed Conley enough to delay him.
So second down and 7. Out to the right, Dale Dawkins. Out to the left, Andre Brown. Kroll in the backfield, along with Gary. Here's Steve Walsh getting the snap, dropping back, setting up, looking, fires the pass, far side. Incomplete intended for Andre Brown. As he ran toward the post, he'd gotten away from Stance McGalla. Pat Terrell was there to pick him up. So it is now third down and 7 yards to go. And Juan Francisco will give the Irish that extra defensive back. Matter of fact, they're going to come in with Juan Francisco. Corey Southall. Haven't seen him play for a long, long time. He'll be coming in there. That is 6 of 10 on third down conversions for the Irish. 5 of 9 for Miami of Florida. So they're dead even just about in that category.
Steve Walsh was a little off the target that time. It's the first time, and I credit the disguise because he thought he was going to get a blitz, and the Irish showed blitz, then backed out of it.
3 wide receivers to the right. 1 running back. And back to throw is Walsh. All kinds of time. Over the middle. Gary's got it. And a first down at the 25. Cleveland Gary with his 8th catch. Francisco and Southall make the tackle for the Irish, but it's another first down, 21 yards on the play, and a first down at the Notre Dame 25.
And again, Tony, I don't think the Irish can cry wolf, wolf without actually showing up with a wolf. They've been showing dog, showing blitz, climbing up like they're in sticky Sam, 10 possible rushers, and then backing off and covering zone. I don't think they can do that every time.
Wingman right, wide out right side, I-10, pitch out, far side, Kroll at the 25 and gets nailed. Oh, and he fumbled the ball. Who's got it? It's going to be dead at about the 28-yard line. Kroll just got crushed. Looked like George Streeter made the hit. Boy, anybody get his license number?
Oh, that was a terrific hit, no question.
The ball be marked at the 23-yard line. It'll be second down, a gain of about 2, 8 yards to go for a first.
On that tackle was Pat Terrell. Great hit.
Chudzinski, the tight end, is right. Wide to the left is Andre Brown. Slot to the left side is Dale Dawkins. And Steve Walsh back to throw. Dumps it over the middle, intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Alm. And the Irish come up with a big turnover. Jeff Alm had a ball earlier in the second quarter, a short pass going right at him, and couldn't handle it. Well, maybe that was practice for the big play this time.
They had an inside blitz on, and actually they picked it up. Everybody had picked it up. Steve Walsh had read it perfectly, was going to dunk the ball off to one of the backs coming out of the backfield, and Jeff Alm, with that big first baseman's mitt, reached up and palmed the ball.
That should be 5 turnovers now for Miami of Florida. And the Irish have the ball first down and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Eiler starts in motion now, sets himself up as the slot man on the left side. I tandem. Here's the pitch, right side. Tony Brooks not going to be able to go very far. Reverses this field, 25, 30, 35. He's to the 40. He's to the 45. To the 46-yard line. Oh, Tony Brooks did a complete 180 and went the other way when it looked like he was going to get nailed for a loss. He just picked up 22 yards.
Kenny Berry from the Miami Hurricanes was limping off there, defensive back. Tony Brooks made something out of nothing there.
Just did a super job. 22 yards on a first down at the 46-yard line. Again, slot right, I tandem. Anthony Johnson in at fullback. Tony Rice at quarterback. Quick toss right side to Brooks. Brooks up to the 45 and fights his way up to about the 48 or 49. He'll get maybe a couple of yards on the play. Shane Curry came over to make the stop on the play for Miami of Florida. Gain of about 3. It'll be second down and long, 7 to go for a first down. So Brooks will come out. He'll get a breather, and Mark Green will come in. Tony Brooks carried the ball 8 times, 40 yards. He got the big one, 22 yards on that last pop. Second down and 7. Wideouts both sides. Forgive Ismail split out to the right. Play action fake and Rice back to throw. Over the middle, man open. It's Brown. He's got it. And a first down at the 26-yard line. Derek Brown, the freshman, got hit by Bobby Harden. And the Irish have a first down at the Hurricane 26.
Bobby Harden came up with a really solid tackle on Derek Brown after Derek Brown had picked up 26 yards on the reception. Bobby Harden is shaken up on the play.
So it'll be first down and 10 Irish at the Miami 26-yard line. 3:59 left to go in the third quarter. And it's Notre Dame out in front, 28-21.
Tony, that Jeff Alm interception by a down lineman might have been the biggest defensive play to date so far.
Tony Rice, 5 of 9 this afternoon, 157 yards. Eilers goes out to the right. He's in the wrong spot. They want Ismail out there. They want Eilers flank to the left. Rice got him lined up. Johnson and Brooks. Right option. Pitch out to Brooks. Brooks to the 25. Brooks to the 20. Down to the 19-yard line. Tony Brooks running like a wild stallion. Picking up about 7. It'll be second down and about 3 to go for a first down inside the Miami 20 at the 19.
And again, they ran that wishbone option, not out of the wishbone, but from an I tandem. Tony Brooks is the I back. Fake to Braxton Banks, keep the ball. They force him to toss it. Tony Brooks took the pitch out.
Eilers flanked right. Ismail wide to the left. Johnson the fullback. Second and 3 at the mighty 19. Rice to take this up. Was there contact? No penalty markers on the play. Here's the toss right side. Green looking for an opening. Trying to go to the outside, cuts in, and fights his way down to about the 16-yard line. It'll be very close to a Notre Dame first down. Green with Derek Brown throwing a block downfield. Managed to make something out of it. We're looking at the 16.5-yard line. It'll be third down and a half yard to go. And we've got a Miami player shaking up on the play again for the second time this afternoon. It is Greg Martin. Tony Rice came to the sideline to talk to Coach Lou Holtz.
Tony, I'll have to say that Miami actually looks tired on the field right now, where the Irish look mighty souped up.
It's this hot sun in South Bend, Coach.
You think? 2:34 in the third quarter, and they're tired?
They didn't expect it to be 74 at game time here.
The leprechauns.
All right, Irish showing the wishbone backfield. Again, you got Eilers at the left halfback, Johnson the fullback, Brooks is the tailback. Now they switch. You got Brooks moving over to the left half. Third down, half yard. Hand off to Anthony. Johnson's got the first down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
There is a flag. It might be inadvertent on this sideline.
Penalty marker thrown down at the 16. The call is against offside Miami. So they will take the 5-yard walk-off rather than the play. So forget about the play and Anthony Johnson's run. The 5-yard walk-off is going to bring the ball down to about the 11-yard line. Now make it around 11 and a half. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Irish. Right around the 11. Eilers will be out to the left. The Irish going with a double tight end. Rod West on the left side. Derek Brown on the right. I-10 of Braxton Banks is the fullback. And Tony Brooks the tailback. Here's the toss to Brooks. Brooks can't go inside. Tries to go inside after he couldn't go outside again. And got down to the 10-yard line. Gain of about a yard. Bubba McDowell comes up to make the hit on the play. And it's going to be a gain of maybe a yard. It'll be second down and about 9 to go for a first down. Brooks comes out and Green is in the game for Notre Dame.
You know, Mark Green, with all of his experience and all of his ability to thrust and find little tiny daylight, it's a good insert right now. He's in that ball game.
Second down and 9 from the 10-yard line. Double tight end flanker right, I-10 him. Wright's on the option. Wright's going to try to up. He was going to pitch it, decided not to, and he got nailed. Bernard Clark came up to make the hit on the play and dropped him back at the 11-yard line. Now, it becomes third down and about 10 yards to go for the first down. And Ricky Waters comes into the game. Eilers coming out. Now, do the Irish play it safe? Do they throw the ball? Or do they set it up for the field goal?
Well, frankly, 10 is better than 7. I would play it safe.
But the last field goal was blocked.
It doesn't necessarily mean the next one will be.
True. Waters wide to the left as the flanker. I-tandem double tight end. Hash mark near side. Play action fake. Looking to throw right. Passing Waters there. Knocked away at the last minute by Donald Ellis. Donald Ellis broke up a touchdown by tipping the ball away at the very last second. And with fourth down coming up, the field goal unit comes on, and Reggie Hall will try once again for a field goal.
You know, Tony, Notre Dame has gotten an awful lot of credit from faking to the tailback, letting him continue on through the line, a kind of a poor fake, and then he winds up being the eventual receivers. That's where Ricky Waters came from that time.
All right, it'll be first try for Reggie Hall. Hackett was the one who had the field goal blocked. So Reggie Hall will try a field goal from the 17. It'll be a 27-yard kick, slightly to the right of the middle of the field. Here comes the snap, the spot down, the kick is up. Looks like it is. Good. 27-yard field goal by Reggie Hall. And the Irish lead it now by a score of 31-21. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual.
I tell you, we talk about that Jeff Alm,
yeah, but you know,
a down lineman.
This is when they get dangerous.
Absolutely, last quarter.
You saw what happened when we had 5 minutes and 42 seconds left after we took a 2-touchdown lead with 2 scores in a little more than a minute and 30 seconds. They came right back and put the ball in the end zone.
Well, that's why Jeff Alm's interception was such a big one, because Miami was marching there.
All right, the Irish by 10. They led by 14. It didn't hold up. Here's the bouncing ball coming upfield. It is picked up by Randall Hill at the 20. Cuts across field to the 25. Pat Eilers makes the tackle at the 25-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Pat Eilers. And I thought for just a moment that Randall Hill was going to outrun Pat Eilers.
I'm glad Miami's using the kind of return they've been showing. It runs from one side of the field all the way to the other. I can't think of anything that takes more time and more risk.
Well, contrary to the way you're supposed to do it, that's not the way it's supposed to be done, but I guess they must get away with it quite often, except that time Hill could not get to the outside and turn it upfield. Well, you know they're going to put the ball in the air, so here we go. Dawkins wide to the left. Andre Brown in the slot to the left side. Back to throw. 3 wide receivers left. Walsh looking, fires over the middle. The pass is caught at about the 43-yard line by Dawkins. George Streeter covering on the play. It'll be a first down at the 43. Second catch for Dale Dawkins. He's a junior out of Vero Beach, Florida.
And it becomes apparent that if you're going to stay in zone, he will pick your eyes out if his men can get open, and they have. That was good for 18 yards and, of course, the first down.
First and 10. They mark it at the 44. Flanker right. Andre Brown wide to the left. Throw set. Here's Walsh turning around, giving the ball to Cleveland Gary. No place to go. He got nailed by Wes Pritchett as soon as he got his hands on the football, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. With a score, Notre Dame 31, Miami 21. Now this for Progresso Soup. Coach, the Irish starting to close the gap statistically in the third quarter. 12 first downs and 19 from Miami, but 8 yards rushing to 50 for the Hurricane. Now 180 yards passing, 309 for Miami of Florida. Miami of Florida with 359 total yards. Notre Dame now up to 318. 7 out of 12 for the Irish quarterback. 21 out of 35 for Steve Walsh. Intercepted 3 times. The Notre Dame quarterback's been intercepted once. Irish lost the ball on a fumble 1 time. Miami of Florida twice. 3 penalties. Notre Dame 20 yards. 6 for Miami 34. 58-50. The gap closing now on plays run a little bit. Miami only 8 plays up. At the half, I think they were 44-32. They were 12 up.
Tony, you've heard me say it a couple of times. I've read a statistic about 90% of the time you win the ball game when you have fewer turnovers than the opponent. That is opposed to only 50% of the time do you win the ball game if you win the statistical battle. And I think the turnovers have told on Miami. It put the ball in the hands of the Irish. The Irish have capitalized on it on some great plays, some breaks maybe by the viewpoint of some, but great plays make great breaks, and that's the difference in the ball game.
No team worth its salt that's up there in any commanding position doesn't get breaks. Now, what you do with the breaks, something else again.
Well, I
think that separates the guys with the real good record as opposed to the guys who are mediocre.
Probably right, no question.
No, Tom, I am right.
Yes, I also knew that. Really, though, that Jeff Alm play, I just keep going back to it. Here's Miami on the move, on the drive, ready to tie it up. A down lineman sticks a paw up in the air, intercepts it. Notre Dame goes from there.
Second down and 10. Miami of Florida, the fourth quarter unfolds. They've got the ball at the Hurricane 43. Slot left, wide out right. Walsh back to throw. Looking left. Looking. Throwing the pass. It is caught on the far side. Chadinsky's got it, and he's knocked out of bounds by Pat Terrell. That's his 4th catch of the afternoon. So they go to the tight end. He goes to the first down at the Irish 37-yard line. Make it the 38.
They put a little heat on the inside before with Wes Pritchett, and they may do that again. That play that they just completed was good for 18 yards and the first down.
31-21 Notre Dame. First and 10 at the Irish 38. High tandem this time. Split in left, flanker right. That's Dale Dawkins. Walks back to throw. Set. Look. Pressure's on. Fires the pass. It's caught. And the catch made by Andre Brown. And he's nailed immediately by Stan Smigala. But it'll be another first down at about the 24-yard line of the Irish. That's 6 catches now for Andre Brown.
Andre Brown executed a perfect comeback to the sideline. The ball was in the air before he made his move back. Steve Walsh had it right on the money. There's no defense for the perfect throw.
14 minutes and 40 seconds left of the game. 31-21. Notre Dame by 10, but Miami of Florida marching downfield. They have reached the Irish 24. Play action fake, deep drop, Walsh looking, fires over the middle. Pass is caught at Cleveland. Gary takes it inside the 10 down to the 9, where it'll be first down and goal to go. As Wes Pritchard and Michael Stonebreaker make the tackle for the Irish.
And both teams, the Irish and Miami, have capitalized on that, hitting the man with the pass that you've just faked through the line. And incidentally, that play picking up 15 yards.
First down and goal to go as Miami strikes back. Andre Brown wide to the right. Dawkins in the slot to the right side. Kaczynski, the tight end, is left. They switch from the eye to a pro set. Shannon Cole in the backfield. Back to throw. Walsh rifles a shot. It is incomplete. Bounced off the body of Andre Brown, and the minute he touched the ball, he got hit, and then he got hit again when the ball popped up in the air. There was no chance for him to make the catch.
Tony, working in reverse now, knowing that Miami's first line of offense is the throw, I look for a second down and 10 draw play, something a little bit of a different wrinkle than the fade back to pass, because I think this is definitely a blitz down by the Irish.
Kaczynski, the tight end, is left. Andre Brown wide to the right. Dawkins in the slot to the right side. Cleveland Gary, the fullback. Here's a toss to Shannon Cole. Cole inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line. Wes Pritchard and company. Now you got a little extracurricular activity out there with Mike Sullivan, the 274-pound guard out of Chicago, and Chris Orth, the 260-pound nose tackle out of Chicago. Maybe they played against each other in high school and they kind of renewing an old friendship. Little toss and turn out there. Gain of about 4 to the 6 for third down and goal to go at the 6-yard line of the Irish.
Wide side of the field is right, and incidentally looks very inviting. I look for something to the right-hand side.
Slot right, Dawkins wide to the left. Gary in the slot, Andre Brown the wide out. Steve Walsh. Back to throw, short drop, looking, fires the pass. It is incomplete. Andre Brown fell down, and Cleveland Gary was well covered on the play by George Streeter. So with fourth down coming up, it'll be a chip shot field goal attempt for Carlos Huerta. The ball will be spotted down at the 13-yard line, far side, hash mark. And so Huerta, who's a right-footed soccer-style kicker, will have a 23-yard field goal facing him. Carlos Huerta will try the field goal. 23 yards. Here comes the snap. The spot down. The kick is up in the air, and it is good. And now the Irish lead cut again to 7. It is 31-24. We've got a timeout now. This for State Farm.
Here's why a growing family feels better with State Farm. There's a new voice in the nursery. The house feels a little smaller. The car a little tighter. Your family's growing, and you wonder if your family insurance is still doing the job. But with State Farm, you have an agent who keeps in touch to help you keep all your coverages up to date with the Family Insurance Checkup, to help you make sure the coverage you need will be there.
And like a good neighbor,
They lead by 7. And now Benish will tee it up at the 35-yard line. And they may go to the squib again, Coach.
I think they'd be probably smart if they did, but because there is a strong wind high up that would hold the ball up.
So Benish has it teed up. Ismail is waiting at the 3-yard line. The thing is, will he get the ball? Johnson and Banks are the upbacks. And the run-up. It's an end-over-ender, and Ismail says, I'll take it, and he does on the... No! He dropped the ball through his legs, and he's going to have to fall on it. He got nailed at about the 11-yard line. Oof. That could have been disaster.
That wind did hold it up, Tony. He misjudged the ball. It dropped flat in front of him. And you're right, it could have been disaster.
Well, the Irish will take the ball first down and 10, and they're in a bit of a hole. They're back at their own 12-yard line. First and 10, Notre Dame at the 12. Tony Rice has got him lined up. He's got Ismail wide to the left. Takes the snap, play action fake, drops back to throw. Going to go long. Going for Ismail. Turns around the right side, and he's not going to be able to catch it. I'd say Rice threw that ball about 55 yards in the air.
Easily. There have been a lot of crucial series in this entire game. It's been well played and a really super football game. But this series right now for the offense of the Irish is about as crucial as there could be because of the clock. A lot of factors involved here.
Well, not only that, I think it's crucial because Notre Dame has to get a couple of first downs. They've got to be able to move upfield, take advantage of the wind at their backs if it's at their backs, and if they're going to have to punt the ball, they don't want Miami of Florida to take it over at midfield. Because if they do, it's going to be a tie score. Slot left, throw set, on the run. Tony Rice looking, firing the pass near side, overthrown, intended for Alanis, up around the 25-yard line. And now it is going to be 3rd down and 10 from the 12-yard line. And this is not what the Irish had in mind after the field goal by Carlos Huerta to bring Miami of Florida within 7.
Well, Tony Rice has had some good success over the middle. They don't want to throw the ball over the middle this time if they can avoid it. They rolled him out that time trying to hit the wide receiver on a comeback trail, which was not a bad idea. They might see the same thing, roll him out here.
At one time in this game, the Irish were 5 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Now they're 6 out of 11. So it is not going well on 3rd down for Notre Dame. And Rice back to throw. Steps up in the pocket, fires the pass far side. Brown's got it. He's got a first down. And the freshman tight end from Merritt Island, Florida, gets the first down up around the 32.
That was a really crucial throw and catch for the Irish. Garrett Brown, as you've said, a freshman.
And getting better all the time, Coach.
6'7". What a target.
19 yards on the play and a first down and some breathing room. Up around the 31-yard line. Ishmael wide to the right. He'll be working against Kenny Berry. Eilers out to the left. Donald Ellis will cover him. Tony Brooks, the tailback of the I tandem. Tony Rice on the... I don't know if that ball was snapped to Tony Rice. He didn't expect it or what happened, Coach.
Nose guard on Miami's side jumped. Whether he saw something to jump and it was legitimate or he just was offside, that remains the question.
Well, the play's going to hold up, but...
Then there was no flag. Then it's a legitimate play. They snapped the ball on a silent count, and it was a quarterback sneak.
And it got a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Browns catches this afternoon, 2, but big ones, 45 yards. Ricky Waters in, wide left. He'll be the flanker. Split end is Ishmael out to the right. Brooks still the tailback, 2nd down and 9. At the 32. Play action fake. Rice looking for some running room. Looking, throwing the ball on the run. Pass is caught out by Ishmael at the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Very close to a first down. His 3rd catch of the afternoon. And Tom, he showed some smarts there.
He's a tremendous athlete. I'm really impressed with him. He's a big playmaker. He's also a bread and butter player. Usually you don't combine the two. He does.
And he's only 175 pounds.
I think you're referring to he realized he was covered, came back towards the passer.
Can't get some of the guys in the NFL to do that on Sunday.
We'll probably see this one there someday.
3rd down, half yard to go for a first down. 3 catches, 86 yards for Ishmael. Irish go now to their wishbone backfield. Fake to the fullback, Rice on the keeper, pitches out to Ricky Waters. It's a bad pitch, it's a loose football. It's picked up here by Tony Brooks, and he's going to be nailed for a loss back at about the 24, 25-yard line. Well, that was what you'd call a near disaster, not a total disaster.
You gotta have a little luck, I guess, to win the big ones. They were lucky again. Oh. That was minus 16, but minus regardless, they have the ball.
Amen. Well, if Jimmy Sexton ever got off a boomer, this is the time for him to get one off.
It looks like he's going to face a 10-man rush.
10-man rush it is, and Darrell Spencer at the Miami of Florida 43. Irish need the big punt, and he's going to get it. That's going to send Spencer back to about the 33, gets to the 35, comes up to the 40, gets hit at about the 46-yard line, and it'll be 1st down and 10 here for Miami. 43-yard punt, 13-yard return, 31-24. Notre Dame, timeout. This is Notre Dame football on Mutual. And regardless of what happens this afternoon, it'll be another interesting Tuesday night. As well, let's see, Larry's going to be on his honeymoon, or is he? I don't know if he'll go to Hawaii or wait and come back to do the Lou Holtz show. What do you think?
Nah, I think he'll let Bobby Berger do it.
Bob Berger will conduct the Lou Holtz show. That'll be Tuesday night anyway. The number to call between 8 and 9 Eastern Daylight Time is 1-800-634-3881. And whatever happens in this one, it ought to be a very, very interesting Tuesday night with Bob Berger and Lou Holtz on Mutual.
All fairness to Bob Berger, Tony, if Lou Holtz wins this game, he'll produce, direct, write, act. He'll do it all.
He may come to Washington to do it live. 31-24. But a lot of time left. 10:28 left to go in the contest. Notre Dame by 7. But Miami of Florida has the ball, certainly within striking distance. They'll take over first down and 10 at their own 46. That means they're 54 yards away from the tying touchdown. And you can't give Miami of Florida that kind of field position. Two mistakes cost Notre Dame dearly. Gabe Ishmael misjudged the flight of the ball on the kickoff. And that's put Notre Dame in the hole at the 12-yard line. They got a big first down pass to Derek Brown. Then they got a botched-up option play, and the ball bounced down and finally was recovered by Tony Brooks. Fortunately for Notre Dame, or Miami of Florida be down around the 20-yard line with a first down. Here's Steve Walsh, play action fake, dropping back the throw. Sets, fires over the middle. Conley's got it, and he's going to be hit by Stonebreaker. And he's got a first down, however, at the Notre Dame 43-yard line. Got about 11 yards on the play.
And again, a repeat play. They're hitting the man that they faked to out of the backfield. He's lined up at fullback. He fakes to him, kind of a poor fake. He weeds his way through the line. Usually if it's a zone, the linebackers expand. There's an opening right over the middle where the ball was originally lined up.
377 passing yards now for Steve Walsh. And that is a new record against the Irish. I believe the old one was 368 by Jimmy Everett when he played for Purdue. Handoff right side. Conley trying to get to the outside. No. Frank Stams slowed him up, and Stonebreaker wrapped him up, knocked him out of bounds, up around the 44-yard line. So there's no gain on that play. Maybe a loss of, a yard or so. It'll be second down and 11.
You know, the old saw I keep throwing at you, Tony, about successful teams repeat successful plays. They've had a great deal of success aligning the tight end and flanker to the left and bringing him all the way across the field after driving off the split end.
Andre Brown flanked to the left, Randall Hill wide to the right, Gary on a wing to the left side, 3 men out left side. Here's the pass. It is caught by Chudzinski, and he's nailed at his tracks at the 40-yard line. The tight end Chudzinski made the grab at the 40-yard line, a gain on the play of about 5. And now that's going to set up third down, and still a good 7 yards or so to go for a Miami first down. 8 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Notre Dame 31. Miami 24. We're in the fourth quarter. The Hurricanes with a football. 5 turnovers this afternoon for Miami. Notre Dame has taken 2 of those turnovers and converted them into points. Brown wide to the right. Hill wide to the left. The Irish starting to come on the blitz. Were they drawn offside, or is it going to be against Miami of Florida?
Steve Walsh barked. You could see his body bending with the bark. It pulled the Irish off, but I don't know who will get blamed for it.
Stonebreaker says offside, Notre Dame. So does the official. First Notre Dame penalty in the second half, and that's going to set up third down and short, like about 2 to go.
Well, that tightens it down for the Irish because at 3rd and 2, that can be run or run action pass.
UCLA out in front of California. Looks like 24-10 in the second quarter. In Southern Cal defeating Washington 14-7. That game is at the half. 2 big ones in the Pac-10.
A really big third down right here.
Vanderbilt laid it on Florida, upset the Gators 24-9, the final. Third down and short, about 2 to go. Walsh looking, firing the pass to the near side. It is caught, and out of bounds is Andre Brown at about the 14-yard line.
Boy, they really had a mix-up on a pass offensive pattern. They had 2 people right together, Tony, and they kind of lucked out on that one.
Yeah, but good teams get lucky, Coach.
Yeah, both sides.
So it is first down and 10, Miami. They've reached the Irish 14-yard line. And with Brown going out of bounds, that stops the clock with 8:04 on the clock. Brown now wide to the left. 27 out of 43, 402 yards. And Steve Walsh has written his name in the Irish record book. 3 wide receivers left. Handoff to Gary. Cleveland Gary getting a couple of yards, now to about the 11-yard line. They gave it to Gary on a draw. And he'll advance the football. Stonebreaker in there to make the hit on the play down around the 11. So it'll be a gain of 3, second down and 7.
I guess records are set because of situations and circumstances, and one of the circumstances here today is they didn't make any bones about it. They can't move the ball consistently on the ground against the Irish. They went to the pass. That's their best suit.
Gary, 9 catches, 120 yards, and that ties his mark, Michigan, for a running back at Miami. 3 wide receivers left, back to throw. Walsh looking. Swings it out to the far side. The pass is caught. Was he out of bounds? Nope, out of bounds. It was out of the end zone. Official right on the play. Now, it may have been broken up by Todd Light. It was intended for Andre Brown, but he was standing near the end line. And you'd have to take a look at instant replay to see if Todd Light got a hand on the football. Brown went deep, and the ball was bobbled, and Todd Light broke it up. Good defensive play, good recovery by Todd Light. So now it is 3rd down and 7 to go for Miami of Florida at the Irish 11-yard line. Notre Dame nursing a 7-point lead, 31-24. 3 wide receivers left. Walsh looking again. Over the middle, the pass almost intercepted. Stonebreaker had a hand on it and knocked it down at the goal line. That would have given Michael Stonebreaker his 3rd interception of the season.
It was 4th down. You know doggone well they're not going to go for the field goal here. With 7:16, they're going for the score because they still have the Irish pinned down. So this is a big call for Jimmy Johnson.
George Williams going into the game, along with Jeff Alm, who intercepted a pass, and maybe intercepted the critical pass of the game. Long huddle by Miami. They break. Wide to the left. Randall Hill. Slot to the left. Andre Brown. Backs are split. Chudzinski, the tight end, is right. Back to throw. They're going to look for Cleveland Gary. Looking. Walsh fires to Gary. Gary down at the goal line. Fumble the ball. Scramble for the loose ball. Notre Dame has recovered. Who's got the ball? I believe they're going to give it to Miami. It'll be 1st down and goal to go. No! The Irish get the ball. Notre Dame recovered the fumble at the 1-yard line.
Jimmy Johnson is livid, Tony. He believes that it was the ground that caused the fumble. The ground, of course, cannot cause a fumble. He believes it's 1st down on the 1-yard line. But the call is going to stand up.
It is 1st down Notre Dame at the 1-yard line. I said they were going to go to Cleveland Gary. I could see him sneaking out of the backfield. There he is, wide open. Stonebreaker was covering on the play. He got hit by Streeter.
The ground caused the fumble. It's a tough call.
Who made the recovery?
Notre Dame.
Stonebreaker made the recovery. So the Irish have the ball 1st down and 10 at their own 1. Rice back to throw. Throws the pass out to Ismail. Ismail to the 5. He's up to the 10. Up to about the 11. And they're going to have penalty pressure on the play. Ismail picks up about 9 yards up to about the 10-yard line. And the marker is against holding Notre Dame. Well, one thing the Irish can't do right now, and that's shoot themselves in the foot, Coach.
Raheem Ismail, as a wide flanker, all that was is a direct shot from Tony Rice to the wide out. He made 2 people miss on the thing and picked up 10 yards so quick, you wonder why they don't do that much more often.
Ismail coming to the sideline, Coach. He got hurt on that play. He's a little just walking just a bit gingerly. 6 turnovers by Miami of Florida. 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Long discussion here. The ball, of course, is going to be brought back, but the Irish will still have a little breathing room because the ball will be at the 5-yard line. So apparently the infraction was around the 10-yard line. Half the distance to the goal brings the ball back to the 5 and makes it 1st down and about 1st down and 6. 1st and 6. High tandem now with Tony Brooks in the tailback. Hand off to Brooks. Brooks looking for some running room. He's going to get back to the 6, and that's about it. Braxton Banks and Randy Shannon going at it. Feelings will start to run high now as the clock continues to wind down and time becomes a factor. 6 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in the game. 4 catches, 95 yards for Raghib Ismail. And Banks comes out of the game. Ismail is back in there. Anthony Johnson is now the fullback. Brooks the tailback. Flank to the right is Ricky Waters. At the 6. Second down and 5. Handoff Brooks. Brooks upfield. To the 10. To the 15. Stumbled to a first down at the 17. Blocked very well on that play, and Tony Brooks had a huge hole off the right side. The clock continues to wind down. 5:45 to go. Brooks now getting a breather. Mark Green back in for Notre Dame at tailback. Raghib Ismail wide to the right. Ricky Waters comes out to the left. 31-24 Notre Dame. 5 minutes 30 seconds remain. Pro set. Handoff. The ball going to Anthony Johnson, not going to be able to go very far. Johnson stopped after a gain of maybe a yard up around the 18-yard line. It'll be second down and 9. But more important, the clock continues to wind down.
Braxton Banks going to spell off Anthony Johnson. Probably a running play either with him carrying the football or him as a lead blocker. They do a great job with their fullbacks lead blocking.
Second down, 9 Irish. They're out of the huddle. Waters flank to the right, Ismail wide to the left. Johnson the fullback. Tony Rice. Back to throw. Rolling out to the right. Looking, firing on the run. The pass is incomplete. Rice throwing on the run. Ricky Waters lost his footing. He was wide open up around the 32-yard line. So now we go to third down and 9 with the ball at the 18-yard line. And of course, the incomplete pass stops the clock.
Tony, the safest play game Lou Holtz has shown thus far when the ball's on a hash, and it is now, it's on the left hash, is a rollout that looks like a pass for Evermore, but it's never intended to be. The outside wide receivers will block downfield. Tony Rice has no intention of throwing it, but maintains it.
Rice 8 out of 16 this afternoon, 192 yards. Third down 9, big play for the Irish. The ball at the 18, Rice on the draw, not going to get there. Good defensive play by Russell Maryland, who didn't get faked on the quarterback draw. The 2-year man out of Chicago made the ankle grab and stopped Tony Rice back at the 15-yard line. A loss of another yard, and with fourth down and 12, well, the Irish are going to have to get a boomer of a punt from Jimmy Sexton.
They had a good call on there. If that man had not made a great ankle tackle, I think Tony could have easily picked up the first down.
Well, they better get a punter in there. Notre Dame lines up, but they didn't have a punter.
That could be disastrous.
Yes. Now Jimmy Sexton is in there. Standing at the 3. 10-man rush by Miami. Helmet high snap. Gets the punt off. Fire with one up. Spencer under it at the 42. Gets up to about the 45, to the 47, to the 49-yard line. 38-yard punt, 7-yard return, and here we go again. Timeout with a score. Notre Dame 31, Miami 24. This is Notre Dame. Tony Brooks, the tailback, went on the field a moment ago to give the defense a little bit of a pep talk. The ball is at the 50-yard line. Hash mark near side. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left to play. Miami abroad is certainly within striking distance with their passing game. Leads Notre Dame. Rather, Notre Dame leads Miami by a score of 31-24. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining.
Tony, the question was just posed in the booth that Miami should be fortunate enough to score, but they would be in that 1 or 2 extra point category.
I think Jimmy Johnson would go for the 2.
Yeah, I do too. It's speculation. They still have 50 yards to travel to get even up on the board.
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind he'd go for the 2.
I think so too.
I think he'd go for the 2 because he has a great deal of confidence in his football team. Well, Walton is Miami Hurricanes are ready. Goes the Irish defense.
He's still a little unhappy on that sideline. He's got the ear of one of the officials.
He's got more than a year. Back to throw, Walsh. Sets, looks, fires to the near side. The pass caught by Jasinski, and he's knocked out of bounds at the Irish 39-yard line, and there's going to be a penalty marker on the play. There's going to be a roughness call against Notre Dame. Jasinski got hit at the sideline after he caught the ball and got knocked out of bounds, and that's going to cost Notre Dame about 15. 11 yards on the play. That's going to turn out to be a 26-yard play.
For the middle guard, Chris Zorich lost track of where the sideline was and did hit him when he was out of bounds. I don't know. It happens.
So it'll be a 15-yard walk off from the 39, which will bring the ball downfield, down to the 24 of the Irish. So they're just going to have to suck it up and get the job done.
They played very spirited today. There's no reason they can't finish it up with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock.
31-24 Notre Dame, but Miami threatening. As Wall sends Andre Brown wide to the left. He's got Randall Hill out to the right. He's going for 412 yards. Play action fake. Back to throw. Sets up. Gets hit. Fumble on the play. Frank Sam. Everybody noticed. Frank Sam played the play of the game. And Chris Lewis recovered the fumble. Frank Sam came going in from the right side. Chris Lewis made the fumble recovery. But Sam with a defensive play of the game. And Miami has now turned it over 7 times.
Fitting in a way, Tony, because Frank Stamps has played a superb football game here today.
Frank Stamps has never played better than he played today.
Smartest thing they did from a year ago is to put him on the line for an occasional line rush on the passer.
All right, the Irish will now go I tandem. Wide out both sides. First and 10 at the 27. To Tony Brooks. He's going to be dragged down from behind by Bernard Clark. The Irish try to go wide, forget it.
Well, Johnny Latner said it when he was up here. I asked a question, and he said, because they're champions, Tom, Miami's not given up by a long stretch of the imagination.
Clark drags Tony Brooks down from behind, a loss of 5. The clock continues to wind down. It's approaching the 3-minute mark of the ball game. And Notre Dame's going to call for a timeout. They tried to get a rather huge offensive lineman in there.
Kim Grunhard.
We're very much divided in the broadcast booth. Did Cleveland Gary fumble the ball before he hit the ground, or did he fumble the ball after he hit the ground? Regardless, I think you have to say when you turn the football over 7 times, you really can't expect to win, not against the quality opponent. Second down and about 14 to go for the Irish, with the ball at their own 24. 3 minutes and 1 second left to go. Notre Dame nursing a 31-24 advantage. The Irish go wishbone backfield, but they've got a wide receiver, Ragevius Meal, wide to the left. Tony Rice on the option, running it to the left side. 20-yard line, and he's going to be dragged down from behind. Good defensive play by Billy Hawkins as Rice gets knocked down from behind at the 21.
Again, that was run all the way, roll out, make it look forever more like a pass, but eat up the clock by keeping it on the ground.
Yeah, but Coach, you can't eat up that much because now you're at 3rd down and 17, and if you don't come up with 17, you're going to have to punt the football, and Miami's going to be right around the 50-yard line again.
He's got to be very careful with this 3rd and 17 play. You know it's probably going to, well, it will be.
They ran wide to the right and lost yardage. They ran wide to the left and lost some more. I tandem wide out both sides. And Tony Rice back to throw. Sets, look, gets hit over the ball, and now Miami's got it at the 14-yard line.
You have to credit Miami, Tony. They've played defense like wild men in this last series.
So the Irish turn it over. Greg Mark comes up with a fumble recovery. And now the ball belongs to Miami at the 14-yard line of Notre Dame. Well, can the Irish do it again? 2:10 showing on the clock. Dawkins goes wide to the left. Andre Brown is out to the right. Steve Walsh, the quarterback. Bobby Garcia, the center. I pin him. Play action fake to Conley. No, Conley's got it. Conley is down to about the 11-yard line. Walsh handed the ball to Conley, then dropped back as if he were going to throw. And Conley, who comes out of the starting blocks very quickly, even though he's small, very strong runner, got it down to about the 11. Pick up on the play of about almost 4. It'll be 2nd down and about 6.
They've got plenty of time on the clock, and a team that is a passing team, you kind of overlook the fact that they might flip somebody the ball for the run.
Dawkins wide left. Andre Brown flank to the right. Cleveland Gary on a wing to the left side. That means there's 3 wide receivers to the left. Here's the pass to Gary. Hit and nailed by George Streeter. Streeter nailed him at the 11-yard line. Put at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 to go for a 1st down.
Tony, he caught that ball on the inside of the 10-yard line. They marked it on the 9. That's not exactly a good placement.
Third down and 6 to go. Brown wide left. Dawkins out to the right. Cleveland Gary will be a wingman on the right side, just outside the tight end, Jasinski. Welch now follows the play. One running back, it is Conley offset to the left. Takes the snap, drops back to throw, sets to fire the pass, over the middle, batted down. Knocked down at about the 3-yard line. Wes Hutchins got a hand on it. The senior linebacker out of Atlanta, Georgia. And now, the moment of truth. Fourth down, 6 to go, Miami. Trailing 31-24, 51 seconds left to go in the game. Fourth down at 6 to go at the 11-yard line of the Irish. The ball at the 11. 51 seconds left. Notre Dame 31, Miami 24. Miami with fourth down and 6. Andre Brown wide to the right, Dawkins out to the left. Back to throw, cutting up, Walsh looking to the near side. The pass is caught. Touchdown to Andre Brown.
That's what they call an over the shoulder. The man is playing inside out. Now he's got that thing we talked about, Tony, 1 or 2.
46 seconds left to go. An 11-yard touchdown pass by Walsh to Andre Brown. 45 seconds left. They go 15 yards in 4 plays.
Pat Carroll just came into the secondary for the defensive Irish. The ball will be on the left hash mark. Most of the field, of course, to the right.
How do you play this one, Coach? Do you blitz? Do you play it straight?
I think I have to play it man-to-man and get the pressure on him.
Dawkins wide to the right, Brown in the slot. Conley, the wingman on the right side. 3 wide receivers right. They're going to go for 2. Back to throw. Walsh, look. Has the time. Lost the ball. The pass is batted down. It's batted down by Carroll. In the air. They win it this afternoon. They're out in front, 31-30, as Jimmy Johnson went for 2. 45 seconds left to go. And Pat Carroll breaks up the 2-point bid that would have put Miami of Florida out in front, 32-31.
To be a barn burner, I don't think I've ever witnessed a better football game.
Not over yet.
Absolutely. Onside kick coming.
Amen. And this is something that Notre Dame, I don't believe, has faced yet.
Well, if it's not onside, it'll be a squib, which is hard to handle across the ground.
Well, remember, Miami came from behind to beat Michigan after they trailed 23-14, 31-30. This time it is Notre Dame 31 and Miami 30. 45 seconds left. Miami has 1 timeout remaining. The Irish have 2 timeouts remaining. Now, the upbacks are normally the fullback. Not this time. Anthony Johnson and Braxton Banks are not in there. Mark Green is up there. Pat Carroll is up there. Tony Rice, the quarterback, is on the near side at the 45. Ricky Waters standing down around the 18. Raghib Ismail up around the 29. Miami will overload the left side. The run-up and the kick, the bouncing ball. Who's got it? Oh, the Irish ball line at about the 43-yard line of Miami. Boy, you want to talk about smothering a football. Good job by Anthony Johnson.
That's an outstanding team effort by Notre Dame. Really one of the best I've ever seen.
Well, all right, the Irish will go with a deep man back there. Tony Rice will take the loss. Takes the snap, drops back, takes the loss. Miami can call a timeout. They do. That will be their last. We've got 35 seconds left to go. Tony Rice will have 25 seconds to put the ball in play. So the Irish technically have to run 1 more play.
Tony, I honestly don't remember the last time I saw a game this well played and contested.
Make about a 2-yard loss, and he does.